Hello there, everybody! Welcome on in for our beginning of the Quantum Break playthrough. Before we get going, let me know if the audio is a little wonky, because I didn't have a chance to do some quality assurance mastering in advance. So just give me a heads up if you want me to adjust a few things. But today we are going to get started in our, 1, the Hidden Lore series of Quantum Break, but 2, my collaboration with everybody, because this is the first time I have played this since Alan Wake 2 and all of its associated DLCs. And with that context, there's a lot more fun stuff that I was picking apart as I replayed this over this past week. Plus, I finally sat down and read the entire novelization, Quantum Break Zero State, which is interesting to say the least. We'll talk about that as soon as we start the game, but unlike the Alan Wake run-through, we're not going to be bouncing around as much as I would like, because there's really not a lot of multimedia information for the Quantum Break game there, other than the book, which again, I can't really pull up the book for you guys to look at. However, what we are going to be bouncing around for is all of the collectibles and information from other timelines. Now, Quantum Break has essentially 16 different timelines you can play through with each of the junction points, and if you lock yourself into one, you miss out on things in the others. So a lot of what I was doing was, during my research over the past week and getting my stream notes set up, is finding which ones you will miss for not taking the routes that I'm not going to take during this playthrough, and bringing them up at the right time so we can still read everything, but understand, hey, this only happens if XYZ happens. even though that's not what we're doing. This is your first time seeing Quantum Break, so you're interested in see what's going on. Well, hey James, I apologize, but we will be spoiling a lot of the... Well, we'll be spoiling the rest of the Remedy franchise. I'm going to try to keep spoilers for the game itself to a minimum, but shit's going to happen, unfortunately. Because the whole point of this is to get the community's input on everything before I sit down and finalize my notes before I start writing the episode for the complete Remedy, the Remedyverse series on this game. Now, I am still working on Alan Wake, writing it, but because in basically about a month, Control Resonant is going to be out, I'm kind of just speed running to get to the point where we finish Control at the bare minimum so that we can go right into Control Resonant. I prefer to be able to get Alan Wake 2 done as well, but I doubt I'm gonna be able to get to that point in advance. You know what you're getting to? Okay, good. Sorry, 16 timelines? Yeah, PMK. And technically speaking, there is a 17th timeline, which is the continuity of the book. Because the book has a lot of differences from the game. There's a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. But we'll talk about that as we go, because I will be taking pauses to start reading through novelization stuff. Alright, so before we get going, though, I do want to go through a couple things as an introduction. So the art book doesn't really have a lot of information in it, but there is a few. And the cat's already scratching at the door. Let me go grab Zoe real quick, 1 second. Come on in. Come on in. Okay, here we go. So, originally, when they were conceiving of this game back in the day, there was 4 playable characters. That was going to be Jack, obviously. Beth was going to be number 2. Nick Marsters, actually, was going to be a 3rd playable character. And a figure named Kate Ogawa was going to be the 4th playable. And she was originally designed to be Paul's ex-wife and a security officer at Monarch. And her character kind of got deleted and merged into Clarice Ogawa, which we'll meet in the game pretty much right at the beginning. Nick was originally imagined as a ex-hockey player, not a football player, which he is in the game, but a hockey player, turned into a con man. And we see that's not at all what ends up happening in here. There's also plans to have the Xbox Kinect play a role and make this a multiplayer game, where essentially you have one person playing the game itself, and then you have another person on the Kinect making the choices without telling the player what's going on. So the player has no control over the choices. It's being done in real time by the individual controlling the Kinect, which would have been interesting, but I'm glad they didn't, because it doesn't really add much. But like it'd be a cool idea, but in terms of lore stuff, it'd be hard to play after the fact. Could Jack Joyce's face changing? Well, that was really just kind of stand-in stuff. I don't think they ever originally intended to have Sean as the protagonist. It was more just they were using him to test out a bunch of stuff. All right. And the art book also very much confirms that the idea of closed loops is a big thing here, which we'll talk about when we get to the quantum mechanics section of chaos, or the chaos theory section of the presentation. Because closed loops and fixed points are a thing in chaos theory. Okay, Zoe. Okay. She's sitting on my notes, as usual. But closed loops are also a big thing in the Alan Wake universe when it comes to things like Clay's steward throwing his dream journal into the Cauldron Lake and then causing him to have those dreams a couple years beforehand. Or Tobias Crane witnessing glowing lights over Cauldron Lake and then 20, 30 years later making a painting of it, and that painting ends up in Hartman's office, which then causes the lights to occur back in like 1910, 1911, or whenever they actually occurred. So closed loops are a thing, where there's no definitive start or stop, it just is. Okay, Joey. Oh, come on. You can sit on my lap. Just don't keep walking back and forth. Yeah, you're a good girl. That's really about it for the most part. So let's go ahead and get the game started. hope you enjoy. And we'll be playing on hard difficulty, of course. Just because. Boom.
The number one killer is time. It destroys us all. This is what you need to know. Time broke. A growing fracture leading to the end of time. We went after a device that could fix it. Things turned ugly. Paul Serene was there to stop us. He has superpowers.
Jack.
Him and me both. We failed.
Jack.
And of course, time travel was involved.
Jack.
Going too fast for you? Okay. What do you want to cover first? You tell me.
Let's start at the beginning. When you first arrived at Riverport University.
I came back home to see my best friend, Paul Serene. He wanted to show me what he'd been working on. My brother Will was a scientist. He was also involved. Paul said it was world-changing. He was right.
Whoa! Come on! Watch where you're going, man! Fuck off!
Get out of the road!
Hey, Dylan. What's up?
Riverport University. Here we are.
Hey, thanks for the ride.
No problem.
Thanks, Prez.
You'd been away for 6 years.
Paul and I had kept in touch, but Will, not so much.
How did it make you feel?
I was just happy to see Paul.
All right, so I heard someone say that it looks like the game might be a little bit quiet, so let me adjust the audio real quick. 1 second. Can I? Yeah, I can do it this way. Okay, hopefully that fixes it a little bit. Let me know if there's any adjustments. Actually, let me check the in-game audio real quick. I have it at 100%. Okay, so we will not be turning off the disabled copyright except for Act 2, at the end of Act 2, Part 2. Because I've streamed this before, and that is the only song that actually got flagged, and it actually kind of made the video not viewable on YouTube. So I know which one I need, but the rest of it, perfectly fine. We'll leave it on there. All right, so before we start wandering around...
I should go find Paul.
Before we start wandering around, we have story time, because we have to deal with the novel. Now, Jack's backstory in the game is probably one of the weakest parts, where he comes off as the thinnest of Remedy protagonists, because there's not really much about him in terms of characterization, or even his history. Like, we know his history, but it's not, like, enough to get a character feel from him. But... or even the exact circumstances surrounding why he left Riverport in the first place.
Campus.
Now, the novel goes into far more detail when it comes to these items. So, just as a preface, Sam did write the introduction to the novelization, and the book itself was written by Cameron Rogers, who briefly worked at Remedy during the phase of Quantum Break's development. Now, he was involved in the initial conception and story writing, the basic ideas of the game, but he left the company to do his own private things before the game was finalized and released. So how Sam puts it is the concepts in the book were some of the original intention behind the game, but due to budgeting things and timeline things, they had to cut back on stuff and remove things and switch things around. So the finished product we got in the game was changed from what the original intention was, which a lot of what happened in the book is original intention stuff, which I find really cool. Now, Sam does also go on to make the comment that some of the things in the book that aren't in the game, it's up to us as the audience to determine if we accept that that is part of the game story or not. So that's part of what we're going to be doing throughout this, is determining what can work within the context of the game setting and what cannot. But we'll talk about all of it regardless. And that's why I mentioned that technically we have 17 timelines, 16 in-game and 1 for the book. I'd argue that the universe of the book is a junction point after Cam left Remedy. And the game is the junction point of after the fact. It's like we have the split is there, and everything else branched off from there. Anyways. So, before the start of the game, this is back in 2010. So there's 3 dates that are very specific or 4 dates technically, is specific to this game: 1999, 2010, 2016, and 2021. This event takes place in 2010, which is 6 years before the beginning of the game. The book literally starts with Paul and Jack on their knees at a place called Bannerman's Lookout, which overlooks I don't know if it's like a pond or like a lake or a river or something, called the Great Mystery. And they're being held at gunpoint by a local mobster. Now, this mobster, he goes by the name of Ori Aberfoyle, nicknamed the Trigger. And essentially what happened is Will Joyce, Jack's brother, had borrowed money from him in order to finance what he was working on at that point in time. And Will wasn't paying him back, so they're literally going to take their past due loan money out of Jack and Paul. Now, during this time, basically, this guy Aberfoyle, this mobster, always had a signature where he would shoot his victims with silver bullets. And the whole idea was that if any of the local law enforcement found a murder scene with a silver bullet there, they would immediately know who it was, and generally the investigation didn't go anywhere out of fear of reprisal. And he would actually bribe any cops that would bring him one of the silver bullets. He would pay them $5,000, and he'd keep them in a jelly bean jar on his desk as a trophy. All right. Now, while they were stuck up there, there was a woman that Jack and Paul, I wouldn't say grew up with, but they knew her for several years up to this point, and she went by the name of Zed, Z-E-D. She was kind of a wild child, so to speak. She'd constantly be changing her backstory or history, even her personality, where one second she claims to be a runaway, and then the next, like a week later, she's like, oh, no, my dad's this very rich and wealthy astronaut, and then she'd claim she has amnesia, then she's on the run from the mob. She would like just constantly be shifting back and forth into different personalities and backstories, and so the idea is you never really knew who she really was, because it's always a facade, it's always performance. Now, she shows up to the scene where Paul and Jack are being held at gunpoint, and one thing leads to another where she literally starts threatening the mobster and being like, hey, yeah, you see over there, that warehouse over there? That's one of your operations there. Check this out. She holds up her hand in the symbol of a gun, pulls the fake trigger, and that building explodes. And she keeps doing that where she's just pointing all around Riverport. Remember, they're on top of an overlook, so they're looking over the whole town. She just keeps pointing out, and his buildings start exploding out of nowhere. And things escalate to the point where she kills everybody there. And Paul and Jack are now free to move on with their life. And what they end up doing, and this will be familiar for anyone who's played Control, is they each take one of the silver bullets from Aberfoyle's gun, and they string it with a chain around their necks and wear it like a necklace. So they literally are wearing the silver bullets very much like Arish and his crew did after the AWE in New York dealing with the human hand chair, because they had like the whole werewolf scare, remember? So they all bought silver bullets. Well, same thing. They have silver bullets around their neck they wear as a commemoration of surviving that event. Now, after this, Zed just vanishes. The home she lived in briefly, it's on the market, but it never seems to sell. But she just disappears off the face of the earth. And this is where we get into more motivation for why Jack left town. Is one, this was the final straw when it came to Will. He tried to stick by and keep an eye on his brother, but after he was literally almost assassinated by the mob because Will took out debts that he couldn't pay back, he says, you know what? Screw this. I'm out of here. But at the same time, he went in search of Zed, trying to track her down. And this took him out to, like, the one place he got close, or thinks he got close, was a place out in Arizona. But he spent 5 or 6 years trying to track her down, and he ended up moving all over the world. But she had such a huge impact on Jack that he started to fabricate himself around her personality. Like, he would just adjust his personality, adjust his clothing. He would just go all over the world and do whatever. Right? And that's kind of what he was trying to emulate the entire time. And this, at the start of the game, is when Paul finally gets him to come back from all that BS. But that's really our introduction before we even get into the game itself. Now, let's talk about Nick for a second. So Nick, even though in-game he's a football player, in the book he's a hockey player, and he ended up getting a, oh gosh, I forgot what it was, but he essentially got an invitation to join a very prestigious team and went out partying that night, and supposedly he had a DUI incident and injured his leg, and then his entire career was shot from there. He could not use his leg, and ironically, he drives a cab now that has a breathalyzer built into it for that very reason. He also, his nickname while he was in the hockey team was the Prez, and he shaped his entire personality around that kind of thing. Even to the point where he has business cards with the Prez on it, and he has, it's like a seal, like an eagle seal with 2 crisscrossed hockey sticks. It's really kind of funny. But again, that was changed a little bit, where he's a football player who had a leg injury. But anyways. Alright, so let's wander around a little bit. Let's head back and talk to this fine and dapper gentleman back here.
Good morning.
Yeah. Hey, you work for Monarch, don't you? I've seen your face on the news.
Guilty as charged.
An anti-Monarch protest doesn't exactly seem like your scene.
I like to keep a close eye on the opposition.
Uh-huh. A little dressy for 4 a.m., don't you think?
It's a very special occasion.
I'm guessing you're not referring to the protest.
Let's call it a private function. You'll have to excuse me, I have work to attend to.
Oh, Martin Hatch, rest in peace, Lance Reddick. I will say that I wonder...
Whatever you want. I don't have the time.
I honestly wonder how he would have performed if he was in Alan Wake 2 instead of Harewood, David Harewood. Even though Harewood is... Oh, like, it's hard because I'd love to see it, but also I loved Harewood's performance. So it's... I'm split. Anyways, yes. Amazing character. We will deal with him later. Alright, so we got the Monarch Stop Monarch's Protest stickers going on here. Lucky Joe's Treasure Trove, which we will, weirdly enough, hear about them later on in the game. If you look down here, there's, weirdly enough, a learn the exotic language of the mysterious Finns in this riveting bi-weekly language courses. So literally they're teaching Finnish at Riverport University. Because of course, you know, Remedy can't help but put that stuff in there. Okay. Interesting little, this is a little novelization tidbit, but over here we can see Monarch Tower out in the distance. Now, some of the employees that work there refer to the tower itself as Mordor. Because, you know, it's, you can imagine why. The glowing eye. Oh my god, look at that. Hatch just went and disappeared. Isn't that just odd? Alright, here's a weird little thing here, but we have the coat of arms for Riverport University with its motto. And I actually tried to translate this Latin, and I can kind of piece together what they're saying here, but their grammar in Latin is horrible, so whoever wrote this doesn't know Latin very well. but it's basically saying one go in, two go out. Unus duoso, 1, 2, intro, enter, exer, exit. So it's 1 go in, 2 go out, and the best I can figure is it's a physics joke. That's literally the best I can figure when it comes to that.
Rough night, huh?
It's just whatever's doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah.
Stargazer liquor. Double slit experiment. Oh yeah, the double slit experiment, or at least interpretations of it, are huge in this. Stargazer. Interesting brand there. Riverport University.
Paul told me to meet him at the physics building.
Alright, so we are going to be going for 100% of everything. Let's view the map, because this map is a treasure trove of data points. So pretty much every single name on this is a reference to something at some point. So I'm going to go, I haven't pieced together every single one of these, but I do have a good portion of them. For example, if you look at the, let me see where this is. So if you look in the bottom left where it says points of interest, you'll see the Marston House, for example, which is one of the prime locations in Stephen King's novel. Gosh, what is it? God, what is it called? Salem's Lot. So the Marston House is a prime location in Salem's Lot where Kurt Barlow, the vampire, resides throughout that story. So of course you got to have your Stephen King references. But then you got over here under dormitories, you have Moorcock Hall, which is a reference to Michael Moorcock. That made an appearance in one of the Night Springs episode, Quantum Suicide. And he's a godfather of... basically, his Eternal Hero series deals with the same archetypal spirit that bounces around different universes in different lifetimes. So I can imagine Tim Breaker kind of got his genesis in that a little bit. Then you have Pratchett Memorial Chapel for Terry Pratchett, Conger Memorial, which might be for Trace Conger, which is a crime thriller novelist, L'Engle Hall, which is Madeline L'Engle, the author of A Wrinkle in Time, Ellison, which is Harlan Ellison, City on the Edge of Forever is the name of the book. There's all sorts of stuff right here, like the Willis Building, possibly Connie Willis, which is the author of a bunch of time travel books, Connor Building, John Connor from The Terminator, and just all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm going to finish going through all these at some point, but I just wanted to point it out. Was I able to look at the post stuff site? Yeah. I've looked at it. Okay, so before I walk under this, I want you guys to pause. Actually, I take it back. Before we go under there, there's one more advertisement on this billboard I want to look at. Edward Norton. Yeah, we'll talk about Edward Norton Lorenz later, bomb style. So up here... So there's a historic Riverport aqua bus tour. So basically they have a bunch of tours of the river itself, which in the universe is known as Mystic River. And they're doing swan boat tours. Now, most likely that is just a complete one-off thing, but there is a swan boat altered item in Control, which I find kind of interesting. Okay, before I walk through here, I want you guys to listen, because Jack is about to get a phone call. I want you to listen to his ringtone.
Paul.
Jack.
Just got to the campus. Where are you?
God, it's good to hear your voice. When you hit the courtyard, look right, you'll see this fancy modern physics building with the lights on. I'll meet you inside there. I am so looking forward to this, man.
You still haven't told me what this is.
I know. See you soon.
Why 4 a.m.? Why not wait till morning? Paul had always been a showman.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a few notes from the Alan Wake theme. So Jack's ringtone is from Alan Wake music.
That's vaguely ominous.
Hey, look, we got the signature for the graffiti artist Toto. Alright, so this game does have a lot of reading. It's technically not as many individual things as Control does, but each one is a lot longer than Control pages, so my speaking voice is going to be ruined in this. Protest flyer. Hey you, take action now. Monarch Solutions wants to tear down the pride of Riverport University, the beautiful and historic library building generations have studied in. This is a part of our heritage, but they don't care. Are you going to put up with that? Of course you aren't. Are you going to take action? Of course you are. First of all, go online and use hashtag #SaveTheLibrary and get loud. The only way they'll stop is if they look bad enough doing it. Secondly, join our protest at the university October 8th. Let's show them there are still people left in Riverport who give a crap. Okay. So let's just keep on going. Yeah, I'm walking into things.
Some protest.
Poor dude.
Hey, do you know where the physics building is?
You mean the big-ass metallic turtle behind me? Hard to miss, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Babe, can we go home yet?
He's like, I'm so done pretending to care. Hey there, cat. Hi there, Zoe. Alright, stop Monarch Problems poster. For years, Monarch Solutions has been buying out Riverport piece by piece, steamrolling over small businesses and local culture to establish corporate dominance. On October 9th, they intend to demolish the historic Riverport University Library to make way for additional Monarch-funded university research centers. They've gone too far. Sick of Monarch Solutions turning our city into a corporate monopoly? So are we. It's time to stop trading culture for profits. It's time to stop Monarch. On October 8th, 7 p.m., help us by spreading awareness. Okay, cat, please don't step on the keyboard. Camp out and enjoy the all-night music. Tell your friends. For more information, contact Amy Ferrero, and there's her email address. Note, this is a non-alcoholic event. Try telling these guys that, because obviously that is not the message they got. Just saying. I mean, this is a university. Oh, cat. Okay, hold on. Zoe. Let me move. You can sleep there, just... You can sleep there, just don't sit on the keyboard. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, cat. Cat. Please don't make this too difficult. You can hang out as long as you don't interrupt the stream too much. Oh, look at that. We have an Old Gods of Asgard tribute band named Stonecrow that's going to be performing at Royal Almond Hall pretty soon. Love it. Sophia Amaral Seminar poster. Thursday, September 29th, 7 p.m., the Henry Kim Theater. The recently appointed head of Monarch Solutions Physics Research Division, Dr. Sophia Amaral, has taken much of her inspirations from the theories of Riverport's own Dr. William Joyce, and now devotes herself to discovering the practical applications for chronon particles. Her presentation will highlight the evolution of chronon particles research and will be followed by a Q&A focusing on career advice and for aspiring physicists. Alright. So we got the hockey team tryouts, which is probably a remnant for when Nick was still a hockey player. We have a live drawing thing where you just show up and paint or draw whatever you want. And a comic fest in Riverport, which is December 8th, 9th, and 10th. This takes place on October 8th, if I remember correctly. So this is long before there. Wait, how can there be an Old Gods of Asgard tribute band when there's a bunch of stuff that suggests that Alan Wake is a game in the Quantum Break universe? We'll talk about that shortly, BP. And we'll talk about that shortly. Okay, so we got you. Boom, boom. Let's check. So I do have a printout of all my stream notes, so I'll be checking things off as we go. So if you guys listen to the background right now, the song playing over the radio is called The Hounds of the Dune, and they're by a band called War Chief. And it's basically a warning of an impending threat. Hey, new chatter, long time watcher, nice. Hey, welcome on in, Karma Chameleon. Karma Chameleon, is that based upon the song? I presume that's based upon the song. So yeah, this is definitely foreshadowing. It's basically the hounds of hell are rolling in just by listening to the tune before you even walk inside the building.
Hey, it's Bobby Radford here on the tail end of the night shift. How you doing, Riverport? Burning the midnight oil? Just waking up? Or are you getting ready for bed? Or maybe you're asleep. I wouldn't blame you. Not a lot going down in downtown tonight. Unless you're at the Riverport University campus, where the protest against Monarch Solutions is still going on. You see, Monarch wants to knock down the old campus library and put up a brand new building. The protesters are saying that building's a part of our heritage, and we don't need Monarch gobbling up yet another bit of Riverport. Personally, I'm with the activists on this one. I'm sure Monarch's new building would be big and shiny, but well, come on, who gives a shit? I love that old library, even if it is kind of falling apart. I like things with character. And Monarch, hell, they've got all the character of a brand new smartphone. Sure, call me a hipster, whatever. I just think you don't have to be a smug douchebag with organic sneakers and an ironic NASCAR cap to prefer a nice corner restaurant with personality to yet another Olive Garden, you know? Still, much as it pains me to say this, I think this is a done deal. Monarch's gonna take that library down tomorrow no matter what we say. Might as well pack it up and go home and get ready for the next fight. Because you know, they aren't done with our town yet, right?
Yeah, he has a great, Bobby's voice actor has such a great radio voice. It's not even funny.
Come on, Amy, call it a night. There's nobody left to convince.
Alright, so this is a weird little thing right here, but if you look at the coat of arms down in this section, basically how this reads, if you get a better look at it, it says, to occider passant sed te eder non passant nefas est. And I'm kind of paraphrasing it because it's an expression I have heard before using other words, but it basically translates to, they can kill you, but they can't eat you, because that's illegal. And it's from I think it's from like a novel on absurdism. Yes, they can kill you, but they can't eat you because that's illegal. Oh, you and your hubs just finished playing Alan Wake. He hooked you on the universe. See your videos, love lore. Hey, absolutely. Glad you've been enjoying it.
If you're with that fraternity, you've done enough damage. We're being shut down.
Hey, I come in peace. I'm just meeting a friend nearby.
At 4 a.m.?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, we're spreading awareness about Monarch Solutions, so if you want to know how badly they're giving us the shaft, then you can just ask me.
Sure thing. Let me go look at this box real quick. There's nothing really in there. It's just protest signs.
Protests seem like a lost cause. Maybe sympathize with the students. All right, what's going on here?
Okay. How would you feel if you knew a corporate monopoly was taking a massive dump all over your personal history?
This dude just wants to go to sleep.
That's quite an opener.
Good. Because that beautiful library over there is over 100 years old. It's part of the city's heritage. And Monarch Solutions plans to tear it down tomorrow. Do you want to know why? We've got a chart with all the details. Monarch's tearing down the library to build another research facility. And for what?
I bet you're gonna tell me.
To push their corporate agenda. I mean, look at those numbers. They're slowly taking over the city and everybody's completely blind to it.
It doesn't look good. Hey, I gotta meet my friend, but you keep fighting this, okay?
All right. Enjoy your booty call.
Not exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that timeline real quick. All right, so selling out Riverport since 1999. Bought out all major tech and security companies in Riverport using earnings from shady investments. In the year 2000, evaded questions regarding who was truly running Monarch. In 2001, they bought out major media outlets. Questions stopped being asked. In 2006, they bought Gull Island, tore down the documents, and constructed an R&D, the war monument, and constructed R&D facilities. We'll talk more about how Gull Island was used during the war at a later date. In 2008, they demolished Riverport Central train station to build the Monarch Tower. In 2010, purchased an entire industrial district and dry docks and put thousands of people out of work. So 2010 is I really want to focus on because we kind of come to the understanding that what's going on in the Quantum Break universe is a separate, I wouldn't say continuity, but it's a different universe than the Prime Remedy universe, which is Control, Alan Wake, and stuff like that. However, 2010 is a very big date in the Alan Wake universe. That's when departure happened. That's when Alan vanished into the lake. And 2010 is when a huge thing happens in this game as well. One of the things we're going to try to do is see if there's any narrative parallels, because while there might not be direct one-to-ones, there could be similar echoes of things going on. So we'll find out. And then 2016, they aim to demolish the Riverport University Historical Library to replace it with yet another research facility. What is Monarch's agenda? Nobody knows. Who runs the company? Nobody knows. When do we want answers? Now. Alright, knowledge over profit. Save the library. At least somebody's getting some good sleep back here. You guys ready for a movie trailer?
It's not a lake. It's an ocean. He's been gone for 5 years. Dark matter and dark energy constitute over 95% of our universe. We're just a speck of light floating in an endless ocean of darkness.
See the Ram statue in the background?
Every story finds its writer.
Alex Casey.
Wake has a bloody knife in his light of the flashlight. He smiles a wicked face. He lies enough blood on his face, eyes staring. All of us have two faces. The one we wear for all to see, and the face that lies beneath in the dark.
Boom. Alright, so yeah, so this is a movie trailer within this setting. So you have to, basically you have actors portraying all these characters. It wouldn't surprise me if the in-game universe's variant of Ilka Villi's playing Alan Wake, the in-game universe of Sam Lake is playing Alex Casey. And you have, I forgot what her name is, but I think she was a DJ or something, IRL. And they just kind of like brought her in here to play this bit role as part of it. So you have a bunch of actors playing the roles of these characters. Anyways, first time live chatter, you've been watching your Alan Wake 2 playthrough. Hey, welcome in, Dragon. Welcome on in. Oh, so this is kind of a novel thing, but there's an implication that Riverport buying up the dry docks is what directly led to the town's shipping industry to go down. Because Riverport was basically, Takani was centered around its shipbuilding industrial, or industry, I should say. And when the shipbuilding industry failed, that's when the economy in the entire town started going down the wavelength, and Monarch kind of brought everything back. The thing is, like, I
Paul had always been hungry for
Hold on.
success. Driven. He made it onto a lot of those top young professionals lists. And now he was coordinating some huge project at the university. It's a big deal for him.
Okay, and I completely forgot what I was just about to say, so apologize. Let's go ahead and head in. So in the novelization, there's a couple things that happen during this walk. For one, there is a kind of like a rent-a-cop that works at the university, and he recognizes Jack. He's like, hey, dude, we went to high school together. What's going on? And Jack has no clue who this guy is, because frankly, he doesn't really... His entire personality in the book is he wants to leave everything about his past and everything about Riverport in the rearview mirror. So he probably just completely blocked out everything to do with high school and just said, he's like, oh, okay, cool. And they invite him out to go like to some pub and get a beers on Friday or something just to meet up with the old gang. Whatever. Also, they do make the note that this physics building, the roof is solar paneled, which gives them a zero carbon footprint, and the architect specifically designed this to be a magic angle sculpture. So the idea is that no matter what depending on the direction of the sun, the shadow cast by the physics building is a different shape, essentially. And no, this is East Coast. We're in Massachusetts, Sudoku Dragon. Opposite side of the planet. Hence by Bobby Bradford's. He's got that his accent is very New England, I should say.
Hey, protest's over. Head home.
Not why I'm here, Chief. Holster that safety whistle.
Prick.
Where's your uniform?
Excuse me.
Come on. I've been in shit enough to smell insecurity.
You sure this is somewhere that you want to be sniffing around?
Was that supposed to be a threat? Because that's adorable.
Just walk away.
Not the happiest guy, are you? I'm guessing you don't get invited to many dinner parties.
I said walk away.
All right. Good talk.
So weirdly enough, Liam Burke is not in the book whatsoever.
Come on, move along.
Liam Burke, a Monarch security officer. Our first meeting was cordial compared to him introducing a rifle butt to my head later on.
So in the book, the character of Liam is played by a guy named Randall Gibson, who's also a Monarch employee, and he kind of acts as a foil to Beth throughout the whole thing, and they eventually got rid of Randall Gibson's character and kind of merged a lot of Liam Burke into it. But we'll talk about Gibson quite a bit, because he plays a big, big role in the book. And there is a character named Gibson in the game, but he's kind of just in the background of some of the live-action scenes. But anyways. Okay, Dr. Kim Memorial Article. Our dear friend and colleague Dr. Henry Kim, PhD, passed away on Friday. So in the book, they confirmed that the news reported it as a car accident, which we know that's not the case. As professor at Riverport University, Dr. Kim was praised for his tireless devotion to his field and his students, both Dr. William Joyce and Dr. Elton Meyer, whose research efforts eventually led to the discovery of the Meyer-Joyce field, where his students were his students. He later made a name for himself as the director of Monarch Solutions Physics Research Division. While maintaining this position, he also contributed heavily to research at Riverport University, leading his services to the development of Project Promenade, based on his students' discoveries, which he continued to work on until the time of his death.
Not exactly modest, are we, Paul?
Project Director Paul Serene. With a track record of extremely profitable business ventures behind him, Paul Serene joined Riverport University in 2010 to head one of the most significant physics research projects the university has ever seen. He is the youngest project director in the history of our university and by far the most successful to date. His involvement has encouraged a flood of high-profile investments that result in the extremely ambitious yet unrevealed quantum physics project referred to as Project Promenade. In his own words, "I'm not a scientist myself, and thus it may come off as surprise to many that I fought to obtain the position as project director development here at the university. For me, it's a dream come true. Growing up, my best friend was the brother of renowned quantum physicist William Joyce. I've always been fascinated by William's work, and his publications from 1997 to 1999 were groundbreaking for the scientific community. As a businessman, I've been able to shape a path to create practical applications for William's work by building on the foundation that he created with a group of immensely talented physicists. That was the basis for Project Promenade, and the results have been absolutely revolutionary. Paul Serene's favorite sports team is the Riverport Rexes. You can see him in the front row at every game." And there's a little bit in the novel where Paul mentions that he's always wanted to go to business school, and we kind of see what came out of that. So pretty soon, as soon as we get to the end of the, part 1, I may need to go make some tea just to keep my throat going, because it's already starting to poop out on me.
You made a long trip just to see a research project?
Well, reading between the lines, Paul was under a lot of pressure. He needed a friend. I wanted to help him any way I could.
Son of a bitch.
Jack Joyce. In the flesh.
The esteemed Mr. Paul Serene. What's shaking, Moneybags?
Shut up and bring it in. Welcome home. 6 years. And I was starting to think you'd never come back.
Yeah, me too.
Come on.
Yes, Fingertoes, we will be exploring everything in the game.
This way. We're going upstairs to the project lab.
No, no vest.
First class. Thank you for that. It's a step up from our van trip to Utah.
I missed that van.
Stone Crow.
I'm guessing Will's not meeting us.
He doesn't know we're here.
I knew Paul had asked my brother Will to consult on his project. Will was all the family I had, but he was difficult.
Yeah, it's Aidan Gillen, it's Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. So we have the freshest sweet poison why sugar is ruining our health. Sport troped to motivate yourself to go to the gym. Popular diet dress, what's
Paul,
inside.
You got enough space here?
Golf secrets.
Probably not. Us business types need somewhere to practice our putting.
Incident? Jesus, Will. You do this time.
All right, from Joseph Chahad, hopefully I'm saying that right, to Haley Shelton. Haley, any idea who William Joyce is? Got a strange request to cut his clearance at exactly 4:20 a.m. on October 9th. Order was from Liam Burke of Monarch Security Division. I know they're consulting for university security, but do they have an actual authority here? Whole thing seems sketchy to me, though. Thoughts?
I promise, what I'm about to show you is far more exciting than the lobby.
Joseph, I asked...
That will be for me to decide.
I got confirmation from our supervisor that Dr. William Joyce's security clearance needs to be revoked. So, yeah, the time for termination is scheduled for 4:20 a.m. on October 9th precisely. No idea why that exact time. It must be a contract thing. The guy was consulting on Promenade, but he lost his shit in front of the investors a few days ago. I was the one dragging him out. It got pretty crazy. He was yelling about some lady warning him this would happen. No idea what the hell this is about. If it was up to me, I'd cut his clearance immediately, but screw it. They don't want my advice. I don't want to get involved in any of that Monarch stuff anyways. Let's just do our jobs, so keep an eye open for Dr. Joyce until then, okay? P.S. Don't feel too bad about it. I heard this guy actually stole some video game from the break lounge or something, so maybe not somebody we want running around anyways.
Small pleasures.
Funny you should say that, Darkanoid, because in the book, the character that we're talking about is a redhead and not a brunette, as she is in the game. Which makes more sense, considering. Alright, other cool little details from the book is that Will actually used to babysit Paul when he was 8, and Jack and Paul used to frequent the same local pub called The Tavern. And the reason the owner called it The Tavern is because he was a huge Dungeons & Dragons nerd and just wanted to call it The Tavern for obvious reasons, because every D&D campaign starts in The Tavern. which makes it kind of funny considering that Tim Breaker mentions that he was a D&D player as well, which is Jack from another universe.
In here, Jack. Going up.
It's quite the facility you got here.
What can I say? I have a knack of milking money out of wealthy investors.
I'd say Trailblazer, the novel, is another continuity when... it depends on how we look at it. So one, if we're using the rules of the Quantum Break universe, there's a junction point at some point...
Over here. Come on. Going up.
There's a junction point somewhere far into the past that caused the continuity of the book and the game to split. Which kind of is what happened in real life. Or if we're using the Alan Wake versions, is the book is kind of like the Alan Wake's American Nightmare, and the game Quantum Break is kind of like Alan Wake 2, where you have the initial idea, but then over that, 11 year period, it eventually evolved through different drafts and different renditions of the same story until we finally settled on the story of the game.
Elevator, Jack.
So it depends on which version, what rules you want to go with. Because the rules of the Quantum Break universe and the Alan Wake universe operate differently. But we'll talk about where there is some overlap a little bit later.
Protests against Monarch are going strong, I see.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you didn't join in. I thought that kind of trouble was your forte.
Well, it used to be our forte. You're the one that sold out.
Oh, I don't know. Rich and successful isn't too bad. You should give it a try.
All right, you're about to graduate and you're looking for the next step. Your future starts here. Monarch Solutions is the #1 employer of university graduates in Riverport. We are actively seeking new employees with various divisions, including energy solutions, security enforcement, marketing.
Go, Jack. Going up.
Bro, I had this conversation with Sarah Breaker during the last stream. Paul, collectibles. Get on board or shut the hell up, dude. Chronon Research, Robotic Engineering, Customer Service, Information Technology. Attend our 1 p.m. Seminar. Did they misspell that? They said seminar, it's seminar. That's a typo. With Monarch Martin Hatch to learn the many benefits of working for Monarch Solutions. Be a part of the bright new future. Be part of the Monarch family. So one thing we gotta keep in mind, I'm just gonna pause so it doesn't yell at me. One thing we gotta keep in mind is the backstory of Riverport. So I mentioned a few minutes ago that, yes, the entire economy was based upon the shipbuilding industry, but once that went away, it basically, the entire town collapsed. There's even some jokes in the book about how they called it the East Coast, the New England Detroit, is a nickname they had gotten at that point. But, so the entire townsfolk were either, they just had to leave and move away, or just accept living in a dead town, essentially. And that's when Monarch came in and boom, the economy resurged. So there's going to be a lot of people who are loyal to Monarch solely because they brought the town back from near death. It's kind of like what happens in Watery in Alan Wake 2, where the town is just basically about to go the way of the dodo bird, and then the Koskela brothers essentially start injecting new business there to try to bring the town back. So it's pretty much yeah, exactly, Darkanoid. So like Riverport very much echoes what happened in Watery, which that could be a narrative echo / overlap right there.
There's more to this than you're letting on. Is it about my brother?
Still worry about him, huh?
If Will did something wrong, then...
Jack, man. Look, I've been tight-lipped about this for a reason. This project we've been working on is going to change the entire world.
Why do I smell one of your long-winded presentations on the horizon?
I would never. Oh, look. A perfectly placed presentation to illustrate the project. Now, who put that there?
Oh, shocking.
Okay. Enough joking. The lab's this way, Jack. Come on.
We'll get to your lab. I want to see your presentation. I know you love this stuff. Come on, man. Dazzle me.
Well, if you insist.
Progress. Our primary drive as a species. Over time, we have cured life-threatening illnesses. Explore the world.
Oh, good. going into marketing spiel mode.
Don't ruin my flow. But there is one element which denies us true progress. Time itself. Now, I'm not a scientist, but here's how it's been explained to me. We've known that, in theory, a rotating black hole creates a deformation in space-time, potentially allowing travel through both space and time. Years ago, William Joyce, your brother, posited the existence of chronon particles, now known as Meyer-Joyce particles, which fill an all-encompassing field, enabling the constant and steady progression of time. Here at Project Promenade, we have combined both these theories to discover a way to manipulate that field. And the results are staggering. There's more, but that's enough of a primer for now.
All right, let's do this. So this is about quantum physics. Paul, you know my brother spent years stuck down that rabbit hole. Is that why you brought Will on as a consultant?
When Dr. Kim passed away, your brother was the obvious choice to bring in to replace him.
So that's one thing I can't really understand within the context of the game is, with everything we know about Will and his motivations, why would he ever step in to assist with this experiment?
What I've been working on.
Like, I never reconciled in my head.
The city had changed. Paul changed. Didn't feel right being back.
It was your hometown. In 6 years, you never felt any desire to return?
There was always more keeping me away.
I mean, Wolf, I'd argue Control would still have existed if the Remedy still had the rights to Quantum Break. I mean, they started dropping hints to Control all the way back to one of the comic books for Alan Wake, also in the This House of Dreams blog. Radio Worlk, WRLK, Monarch Tower. Oh, and one of the things that Will did to scare the investors is he sent a mass bulk email to all of them, basically saying, hey, cut the bullshit. Well, in the book DGC, Will didn't assist the university or Monarch in any way like he does in the game. In the book, he just did his thing and kind of went about his life.
Welcome to Project Promenade.
Oh, shit. You guys must have some budget. What is all this?
The future, Jack. You were looking at the biggest discovery of our time.
It's impressive, but Will's the scientist. What do you need me for?
There's a reason we're doing this at 4 a.m., Jack. I need someone I can trust. I need you to help me convince Will.
Yeah, I had a hunch.
When your brother found out the scope of what we were building here, he... well, you know Will.
Yeah.
Hang on, I gotta get something from my desk. Will overreacted. Scared off the investors, ranting about miscalculations, dangers, all with no evidence. It works, but they're gonna cut our funding if I don't prove it.
So remember during the Return movie trailer that we just looked at, and I mentioned pay attention to the Ram statue? So this Ram statue right here, weirdly enough, was in the background in the field office where Alex Casey and Saga Anderson were investigating Alan's disappearance. Why this Ram statue is there, I have no idea. No idea.
You always did drag me to these situations.
Me drag you. One word. Utah.
Haha. All right. Touché.
And from what I hear, you've attracted plenty of trouble without me these past few years.
Well, apparently it's my forte.
I don't know if we ever, Writer Star, to be honest, I don't know if we've ever seen the Ram statue outside of the game. I'll just be 100% honest. A cursed object? I mean, like, the story for it essentially is that they broke into a police station and stole the Ram statue from Utah. But we have no evidence of it being a cursed object or anything of that nature, Sudoku Dragon. No idea. Well, it's not a reused asset, Fingertoes, because the return trailer was done live action, which means they had to physically craft this. In game, yeah, it could be a reused asset, but that was live action.
I see the concept of personal space is still foreign to you.
Hey, somebody's got to keep tabs on you.
Paul Serene from Meredith Rawson. Investors have made their decision based upon William Joyce's concerns. They are halting all funding for Project Promenade until an equally qualified specialist can be assigned to the project to perform further inspections. I did everything I could to sway the vote, but the only board member who voted in your favor was Martin Hatch. So all the investors want to shut down this experiment except for Hatch. Data point. We brought up William Joyce's questionable mental health, but the damage is already done. He planted the seeds of doubt. Let me know how you wish to proceed. Mayor, we absolutely cannot afford to lose the momentum at this point. If we put Project Promenade on hold, then we will lose every Chronon specialist on staff overnight. Monarch is paying double the wages we are. It would be an absolute nightmare. Our staff is irreplaceable, and I'm struggling to hold on to them as it is. I've known William Joyce since childhood. There's no doubt that he's a genius, but he also has a history of paranoia and mental instability. He's lost sight of the big picture. His concerns regarding Project Promenade are outlandish, unfounded, and based upon ludicrous conjecture. The only reason we pulled Will in as an advisor is because there are no other qualified specialists available who the investors will trust to sign off on the project now that Dr. Kim's gone. We can't just wait for the board to find a suitable replacement because there are none. Kim approved these figures long before his death. I refuse to let Will sabotage everything we're building here. I need you to keep the investors distracted. Buy me time before a final decision is reached. I'll find a way to gather the proof we need in order to proceed to the beta testing. Give me 48 hours. I will make this right. So yeah, the book goes into a lot more detail about William's issues. So after their parents' death, technically on paper, Will was the legal guardian because he was a legal adult at the time over Jack. But Jack was the one specifically who had to take care of his older brother, even though he was like 9 years old when his parents died. So all throughout his teen years, he basically was more like skipping school to work multiple jobs just to fund their household. Jack was. And he had to do things like remind Will to eat, to bathe himself, and basically just not walk into traffic and get himself killed. He was basically, as a early teen, a caretaker for his adult brother who had mental problems. And that was one of the data points that culminated with the attempted assassination by the Aberfoyle, Ori Aberfoyle, the mob boss, where he said, you know what, I'm done with this shit. I'm just done. Jack couldn't deal with it anymore. After literally since 9 years old, having to care for his mentally unstable brother.
Jack, you know asking for our help is not easy for me. I am in deep trouble. You see, the tests I have to run here are not, strictly speaking, legal. You're the only one I can trust to help me with this.
Whatever Will did, I want to make it right.
I love my older brother, but he didn't make it easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's already essentially set up. Anyone can do it, but you're the one I want to do this with. Jack, thank you. I knew I could count on you.
So, there's a little bit more backstory on Paul and Jack as kids. So, they were kind of a rowdy boys growing up. So, they would, just run around egg houses for fun. They'd break into the junkyard. Asterisk. And they'd record zombie flicks inside the junkyard just for the fun of it. Smoke a pot all around town. And just all around just getting into mischief. All the time. Alright, let's scroll all the way down. But here's the thing is, I'd actually questioned whether William had mental issues. Because we talk about it a little bit later in the game. But I'm curious if because of the knowledge he received in 1999, he could technically be diagnosed as having a schizophrenic disorder, even though what he believed was true. So I'm curious about how realistic his diagnosis was in that context. Anyways, so this is the email chain where Paul brought Jack back from wherever he was at. Jack, it's been too long. You've never been coming. You ever coming home for a visit? The ocean sewage musk of Riverport isn't luring you back yet. Not to brag, but they've recently deemed this city as the coastal Detroit of America. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the joke. The coastal Detroit of America. Everyone's thrilled, as you can imagine. What's the latest? Where are you now? I'm guessing you're squatting in some Buddhist temple, making some feng shui bracelets and brushing up in your Bikram. Culture ignorance intentional to aggravate you. Still waiting for the day I get the call that you need me to bust you out of some shady Thai prison. I've got a fund on standby for your inevitable fuck-ups with the law. In all seriousness, though, hope you're doing well. Thinking of you, miss you, man. By the way, this is going to come as a shock. Remember the big project I told you I'm heading at the university? They want me to bring in your brother as a consultant for the final stages. Just wanted to let you know before you read it online or something. You'll be reading a lot more about our project once it goes public very, very soon. It'll be hard to avoid the buzz even out over there. We both know William can be difficult. Any advice on how best to deal with him? And this was on September 9th. This is about a month ago. I should be a quantum teacher. Oh gosh, I do not know barely anything. The joke is with quantum physicists is that if you claim to understand quantum physics, then you've never studied quantum physics. And if you study quantum physics, you acknowledge you don't understand it at all. There's a bit of a Dunning-Kruger effect when it comes to the topic. And I'm probably guilty along with everybody else when it comes to people who think they understand it based upon YouTube videos. Anyways, moving on with life. Moneybags, navigating my way through Vietnam, heading back to Thailand in the near future. Hope you're keeping the funds stacked because I'm bound to make some bad decisions along the way. Actually, I got in a little bit of a trouble down that way already, but I think it's all sorted now and nobody's made the mistake of calling the cops. How's the high life? Saw an article on you recently. Top 30 entrepreneurs under 30 or something. Still, wearing that ridiculous overpriced watch I see. About Will, what can I really say? Clearly, I'm not the expert on dealing with my brother. There's a reason we haven't talked in 6 years. The best advice I can give you is this. Lose the watch. So, we get a little bit of information. I'm not sure if this is what he was doing recently, but while Jack was overseas, I forgot what country he was in. He was working as a bouncer for some club, but then also moonlighting as a courier for illegal activity. We never got confirmation of what specifically he was transporting, but people would give him a package, he would deliver it, and then go back to being a bouncer. And he never really asked questions, he just did it for extra cash. So Jack's character, he's very much okay with bending the law, as this part of the email chain confirms as well. A week later, Will's in good hands, don't worry. I'll stop wearing the watch when you stop stealing fugly ram statuettes for souvenirs from police stations. So they probably got arrested in Utah and then they stole that on the way out. You'll never let that one go, will ya? I'll keep the photos in my phone background. Your noble protest still provides me with inspiration. Travel safe. That's borderline creepy. Best of luck finishing up the project. Talk soon. Jack, you know I'm the last person to ever ask for a favor, but desperately need your help, man. Everything I've built here my entire career, it's all in risk of crashing down if I don't do something. I need to take the only measure that will put this project back on track, but I can't do it alone. I need somebody I can trust to help me fix this. Where are you right now? I have only 48 hours to set things right. I know Riverport is the last place you want to be, but I can have a flight booked for you immediately. I've realized this by no means a small ask, but I'm desperate. I need to know if you're in. Almost 2 decades as friends, not once have you ever asked me for help. This must be bad. You okay? What kind of trouble are you in? Of course I'm in. I'm here for you, man. Currently in Bangkok, but I can find a way to report as soon as possible. We'll wait by a computer for further details. I just booked you a flight from Bangkok to Riverport. First class. Tasky will be waiting for you at the airport when you get here and drive you straight to the university. I can't tell you any more over the email, but we'll explain everything when you get here. You just saved my life. These aren't the ideal conditions for a reunion, but can't wait to see you again. I'll pack my things and head to the airport ASAP. Whatever this is about, make sure Will does not know I'm coming home. Not the kind of baggage I need to unpack right now. Okay. Like I said, lots of reading. This game is broken up into very lore-heavy parts and very combat-heavy parts, and we're definitely in the read everything sections.
So, what's this?
Corridor schematics. Travel clockwise leads to a forward progression in time. Counterclockwise, travel backwards.
Oh, it's like you invented a clock.
Yes. Years ahead of our time.
Alright, so in the novelization, there are a few people, there's only a few people who actually know about the lifeboat. Like, it's getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I have it written here for some reason. That's going to be specifically Hatch, Paul, a handful of the experts which they use for the lifeboat protocol, the contractor who built it, there's a recruiter in Europe, and a lobbyist in DC who happens to have information on it. And with that, we are 100%. I'm going to try to get through all Control before Resonant comes out, Trailblazer.
Conduit. That'll activate the core. I'm going to run diagnostics and make sure it remains stable. That's just the Chronon conduit initiating.
Let's start up a black hole.
What was that? The core replicates the effects of a rotating micro black hole, so activating it can be a bit intense.
A black hole? What exactly are we testing here?
You're about to find out. This way. We've got to raise the corridor. Just like old times.
Sorry.
Eh? Slightly illegal, moderately reckless.
The cat was literally sitting right in front of the door looking as if she wanted to go out. I opened it and she decided, no, I'm staying in here. What are you talking about? This is where you had a bug in your game and couldn't play anymore? I'm sorry, Wolf.
I'd raised some hell with Paul in the past. I could tell this was different. Still, I didn't understand how massive and far-reaching the consequences for this would be. How could I? I knew Paul. He played it cool, but I could tell he was nervous.
What's happening? We're really doing this, Jack. It's gonna be amazing.
Here, take this. You need this key to activate the corridor.
Sorry. Didn't mean to blow in the microphone, but I had a freaking fly just run in front of me, and I'm like, ah, get away.
We need to turn the keys at the same time.
None best. Not allowed.
Security precautions. Ready?
It's like we're launching a nuke. Wait, we're not launching a nuke, right?
One way to find out.
That is not encouraging words, Paul.
1. Jack.
What? You didn't say 0. Come on, man. We need ground rules.
Okay, you turn. I'll follow. Close enough.
God damn, Paul. What is this?
The corridor. The passenger enters one end, travels around the loop, exits the other, and arrives at the predetermined time in the physical location where the machine is situated in that time.
Passenger? Wait. This is a corridor for... You're actually going inside that thing? In the machine, through time? It's a fucking time machine.
I'm going to be the first, Jack. And you're my witness.
This is crazy, Paul. I mean, this can't be safe. What happens when...
Our team has already proved it works in the trial phase. It is ready. We've passed every test, every inspection. We're about to make history, Jack. All you have to do is hit that switch.
So weirdly enough, in the book, Jack's the one that tests this out, not Paul, where he goes in first and then sees a duplicate of himself.
2 minutes to the past.
Remember this moment.
Paul, what? How?
It's fine. It's okay. Stay calm, Jack.
Stay calm. There's two of you. You just fucking multiplied.
One went in, two went out.
This is exactly what was supposed to happen. He's me.
Just like the
a future
Riverport motto.
version of me from 2 minutes in the future. Your evil future self. We did it. Fucking incredible. I mean, just imagine the implications. We could warn people about disasters before they happen, cure diseases before they spread. I just had this conversation. Still sounds good second time.
Jesus Christ.
Now go into the machine. You need to complete the cycle. Yeah. Yes. Of course.
Wait, Paul, what are you doing?
It's all a big loop, Jack. I need to enter the machine and travel back to the moment I exited the machine in order to, well, be here.
And what if you don't?
There is no what if. I'm here. It's already happened. You saw it, Jack. We did it.
Oh, that's impossible. That's literally impossible. I mean, I can't even...
There's no time to stop now. We need to test the other direction. Set the machine to 5 minutes to the future.
Alright. So before we get too far down this line of things, I see some talks about how this is a temporal paradox, or this is blah blah blah, like how this all functions. So the method of time travel in this game, weirdly enough, isn't explained very well in-game. But Paul's comment there's like, hey, there's no what if, this has already happened. So there's an idea in chaos theory called a fixed point. And fixed points are things that have been observed and you know them to be true. So in one interpretation of the twin slit experiment of quantum mechanics is essentially that reality is in a constant state of potential flux, where like the cat is both alive and dead simultaneously, but it is the act of observation which causes things to condense. And now it becomes a fixed point. The life of that cat is now confirmed by a fixed point observation. Now, essentially what that means within the context of this series is that because they witnessed the two Pauls here, this is now a fixed point event, and nothing can happen to interrupt that fixed point. Now, attractors in chaos theory are kind of like the action phase. So it's the gap between when you start off to where you get to that endpoint. Now, fixed point attractors is kind of like a pendulum, where if you pick up a pendulum and drop it, it can take any number of infinite paths to get to its endpoint, but it's always going to stop at the very bottom. It's a fixed point in time. Now, we'll see throughout the course of, mostly in the novel, they don't talk about it in the game a lot, but in the novel, where you have a series of fixed points throughout the story, but you don't know how things get from A to Z. A to Z, I should say. I use Z kind of jokingly because that's the name of the female character in the novel's backstory. But essentially, if a character actively tries to avoid that fixed point, the universe will conspire to force it to happen, because there's an infinite variations, an infinite amount of universes that could potentially occur between where you start off to where that fixed point is, and any one of them can cause you to get there. So the universe will conspire to force you into that. You're technically in a state of quantum superposition in that space. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling at this point, but the universe will make it so that you always end up there no matter what. And we can talk a lot more about that in Act 2, because there's a really good scene that kind of illustrates the point in the book, which isn't in the game, which I really wish is in the game because it's freaking cool. So if someone sees reality differently, they saw an event others couldn't, would a fixed point still apply? If anybody observes it, it's a fixed point. If anyone observes it, it becomes a fixed point. It's the act of observation that takes that wave of infinite potential and collapses it down to one of those universes. And that's the only thing that can happen in this particular universe from now on. It cannot be adjusted because it's now been solidified.
What are you doing? Oh no. Jack. Will? You have to help me with this. We have to shut this thing down now.
No, stop him!
Shut up!
It
Hold
damaged
on.
the core!
Hold on. We can't shut it down. Paul's still in there.
Shut up!
Look
Shut
at me.
up!
Look at me. Put the gun down and we can talk, okay?
No, there's no time.
You're not thinking straight. Put the gun down. Jesus Christ, Will.
Time is going to end. Jack, you have to trust me.
Or what?
Stop him!
No, I gotta let you out.
Oh God! No! No!
You okay?
I think so. I'll find a way out. Make sure Will's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I could hear Will's words in my head. Time is going to end.
Okay, so there is a big difference in the game and the book right now as well.
It should have worked. We broke. It should have worked.
For example, in the game, the cause of this error was as a result
Is this really happening?
of two things. One, the point in time that Paul was trying to get to doesn't exist, so the computer feeds back a null for the time aspect, because the core is about to be disengaged. So Paul's trying to travel to a point in time when the core doesn't exist, but there's also the equations that was being used was incorrect, where they didn't take into account that variable as a failsafe. So those two things combined caused this issue in the first place. In the book, it's very different, where Will says it's an act of intentional sabotage. Somebody intentionally sabotaged this machine to fail, which is a very, very different thing, and I think we all, for those who know the story, know who that individual is.
What the hell? This is crazy. Will. Will.
Jack.
Hey, Will.
Zero state. What have we done? She warned me. I knew she was right. All this time. I warned Paul. This could all have been avoided. But too late.
So here's a quick question. We're gonna try to analyze throughout the course of this run through, but I've seen two variations of this problem. Is this the event that caused Jack to split and Tim Breaker to be formed down the line? Like, the events that happened in the Quantum Break universe directly caused the variance and everything going on with Tim Breaker's story in Alan Wake 2 to occur? Or B, is it more of like a narrative overlap, a narrative echo, where in this series you had the infinite variations of the same character, And in the other one, you have infinite variations through different literary universes. So it's like you can interpret it both ways. But it really comes down to, is Quantum Break the reason why there's other variations in the rest of the Remedyverse, or is it just instead of using magic, you use science to explain the same thing? I'd say Echo personally, but we'll talk about it more throughout the course of the run-through.
Come on. Jammed. This wasn't supposed to happen. The figure's all...
Stutter. Collapsed.
Jack! There's no other way out. I'm going through the machine.
Paul, wait.
No! Jack! This way! Jack! Jack! Come on!
Because if you think about it, they're telling the same thing, just using different genres.
But there was no way to help him. I didn't know where he'd end up.
Hurry! He's here! Fire!
What the hell?
Hurry! This way!
I mean, it's kind of like in Alan Wake, you rewrite reality by telling a story. In Max Payne, you rewrite reality by patching the digital universe. The same thing's happening, just using different means, because one's a literary reality and one's a digital reality.
Jack, your hands.
Gotta keep moving.
No! Jack. You just... What just... Go. This way. Move.
That was the first time my power started to manifest. An out-of-control burst of energy that saved Will.
Jack, your proximity to the pulse, it must have altered your relation to the chrome.
Will, what I just did back there, what the hell is happening?
That's what I'm telling you.
Not in the right language.
Alright, so in the book,
I'll try to explain, but we have to go.
this is kind of a little bit darker, because Jack's kind of like in a fight-or-flight response right now, where he's just like, oh god, oh, shoot that, shoot that. He ends up shooting one of the random guards in this scene, and it happens to be the very same rent-a-cop that knew him from high school and invited him for beers that Friday. The guy was not even trying to attack Jack. Jack just freaked out and had a gut discharge of his weapon and killed the guy by complete accident. And that really messed him up in the head, obviously. But again, he has people in armored suits that are literally trying to kill him, and then another person shows up and he just makes an instinct. Yeah. Instinctual move. So before we continue on here, we do have our first audio diary.
How close were you with Serene before the experiment?
He'd been looking out for me ever since we were kids. When my parents passed away, Paul's family made sure I got back on my feet. You know, Will wasn't around much. I never did have a tendency to make things easy for myself. Guess I dragged Paul into my mess. We spent a lot of time looking for trouble. We found it. He got out, I didn't.
You said you owed him one.
He saw the path I was on, where I'd end up if I stayed. He got me out of the country, told me to never look back. Until now, I never did. Yeah, you know, we were close.
And that shows a clear difference between the game and the book. Because in here, it just seems like Jack was getting further into his legal troubles, to the point where he just had to leave, get out of town before he gets arrested. In the book, it was because he was looking for Zed. And then he abandoned the place and left it behind because he couldn't deal with Will anymore. He just didn't want any memories of his entire life. So he ran out. So it's two very different stories that are not compatible with one another, which is why we have to interpret the book and the game as completely different continuities. Well, Dark Anoid, the Rent-A-Cop was I think was hired by Monarch. So it's possible he had Monarch markings on his uniform. So it is what it is. Hey, what's up, Break? Welcome on in.
Explosion make time go bad. If time is an egg, then that egg is fucking broken. The time egg is fucked.
The time egg is fucked.
Why is there an egg in this?
All right, so in the book, it's a different metaphor. Will explains that the time is like a lake, and that there's a dam that keeps time in check. And once the dam breaks, the water flows out, and boom, no more time. But I think the egg metaphor is funnier, though, because he keeps coming back to it. Also, in the book, William does have a contact in Monarch that's been feeding him information, which is how Will's staying on top of things. And it's a hacker by the name of Horatio. Now, Horatio does not appear in the game whatsoever, but his character was kind of consolidated into Charlie Wincott, which is a character in the game. But, so we see a little bit of some of the scenes that happen with Horatio happen with Charlie. But it's a completely different thing. Also, throughout this entire section, Will is freaking out way more than he is in the game. To the point where Jack has to continuously use like grounding techniques to try to keep his brother from going off the deep end. Even during this walk right here, where he starts asking Will random science facts because that helps to ground him when he's in one of his manic states.
There's a fracture in time. It's breaking down, leading to the end of time, and door.
What?
Locked. They cut my security clearance. Ah! That didn't help.
Stand back. I'll get it open.
Oh, and part of the PR campaign that was put in after the fact is, you know, that dead guard that we just walked past? The media and Monarch claims that Jack stole the security keys off of the body once he killed him, and that's how he was able to get all around the university. It was kind of, they just made the whole thing up.
I knew it.
HQ, securing the
Will,
server. Over.
More of them. Hide.
They're coming. In here. I warned Paul about this. About the calculations. I tried to make you listen to me. By shoving a gun in my face? Yes, a gun. The universal symbol for shut the fuck up and listen to me.
Sound logic is always
Great line, too.
We're on this side.
Negative, Jinx. I haven't been following any of the Resident gameplay trailers. I watched the initial announcement, but that's it.
This doesn't make any sense. How? Why are you even here?
That's your biggest concern right now? Paul brought me here to clean up your mess.
My mess? Do you even...
May have to call behind.
Ranger team, target spotted exiting the service elevator.
You heard her. Let's go.
Are you sure the target was spotted in the elevator? Because we're kind of in the server room right now.
You have no context for any of this, Jack.
So I love this little detail with Will
What
right here.
happens in 6 years?
No words
Speaking of
needed.
us, can't make it personal.
They're trying to kill us, Will. It's pretty goddamn personal.
Just watch what he does with the
Getting
ladder.
you
It's
involved is the last
really
thing I
interesting.
want. I'm sorry.
Right.
He just lets it go right on top of his brother. He's got so much tunnel vision in whatever he does that he does not pay attention to anything around him. Now, there's some scenes in the book that get into Will's mental, like, how he thinks, And there's a scene at their parents' funeral where he's trying to wonder. He thinks everyone's silently judging him because he doesn't know what to do with his face or what to do with his mannerisms to convey grief he's feeling. He just doesn't know how to portray that to other people. So again, there's a lot more neurodivergence when it comes to Will throughout the course of the book that's not really here in the game. And he's more concerned about his brother's emotional state than he is about his own, because he just doesn't know how to react. He doesn't know how you're supposed to behave in these situations. And right there, it just, like, him dropping the ladder on his brother, he's, like, obviously just in his own head. Not paying attention.
This way.
Okay.
Let's go.
I got it. Okay, fine. If you're gonna bug me, then I'm gonna go into here and read it so you can't bug me. Ha ha! Alright. Paul Serene just, and this is coming from Rhea Ennis to James Ness. And the cat is scratching at the door again. I swear she's just going, she's being a cat. In and out, in and out. What just happened? There we go. 1 second. Paul Serene just had me go through every step of activating the time machine in detail for him over 3 hours. Do you have any idea what's going on with Project Promenade? Do you think he's replacing us? And what about Dr. Joyce? All that stuff he said and how we won't be able to stabilize the chronon field? What if he was right about the miscalculations? I know he comes across as a crank, but he came up with a lot of the research we're now building on. I don't understand the implications if there is an error, but Joyce seems to think it was a serious business. Also, I tried to look up an overview of the figures today, but all of the files have been locked out by somebody named Martin Hatch from Monarch Solutions. I know they put some money into this project, but do they seriously have that much authority over us? I'm so confused. Okay. Cat. No, please don't. No, cat, don't. She just has this thing where she walks back and forth across my desk just nonstop. Anyways. Okay, so let's check you off. No, no.
Jack, it's not safe here.
See, I need to keep my keyboard on my desk because I use it in the game, but I need to use it on an occasion if I'm swapping back and forth between sources. But I cannot put it anywhere on my desk because every time I move it, she moves right on top of it. She literally just runs back and forth anywhere I move the keyboard.
Fracturing time is only going to get worse. We have to stop this before it's too late.
How?
First, we have to get to my car. Look at this. It's the goddamn paramilitary out there. And we're the target.
What's their chopper waiting for? Pickup? I saw that guy earlier. He's part of this. Maybe even leading it.
Alrighty, so we're finally getting into gameplay now.
You're better at the door thing.
Will, get out! Oh, God. Target's armed. Opening fire.
Almost 2 hours in, we finally get to play a game.
Jesus.
Go, go, go! Weapons free!
Face down.
Without the gun!
Will, are you okay?
I think so. But Jack, that was...
I know. This is way out of hand. I'd used a gun before. I'd been in a couple tough spots. Never had an army of pro gunmen chase me.
Yes, Hallman will be watching the TV show. Huh, so somebody over here happens to be playing Alan Wake right now. Confirmed, Alan Wake is a video game in this universe. But remember, in American Nightmare, Barry was on the Eddie Rodman radio show. Barry did mention that they were potentially talking about making a video game for Departure. So it looks like, at least in the Quantum Break universe, that game did get made.
Paul was positive that the experiment would work, but the figures were correct.
Because his specialists were a bunch of goddamn idiots. Their formulas were missing these variables entirely.
You're seriously making corrections right now?
Well, if they made them in the first place, we wouldn't be here.
I presume the game's just, well, it's not really paused because that's a different pause screen. Let me see if I can figure out where he's at. There's a building up on the road there. Get to Cauldron Lake. So this has to be in episode 6 of Alan Wake. It's nighttime, so it's after the underpass. This might be before this has to be before he gets to Larson's auto dealership. Because after you enter Larson's, you're kind of in the wilderness from there on forward.
Not good. This is not good. Wait. It's coming down. Hide!
Not again. Come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do that.
Take him down! Watch out! These guys are wearing Monarch uniforms. Monarch? You don't kill me!
I can't see where your head is, so I can't shoot it!
Hey! The other Joyce is here too!
Please show me your head. Here you go, thank you. There's too much stuff in the way. Okay, fine, I'll just put a lot of bullets in you. Okay, we good? We good?
Time's acting up again.
No surprise. We have to go.
Raider team, have Jack and William Joyce been detained?
Did you hear that? They know our names. They knew we'd be here.
They must be after the machine. The elevator. It's the only way out.
So this is why I question whether or not the actor who's playing Alex Casey in that trailer we just saw is Sam Lake, because in this universe, Sam Lake happens to be a physicist. Weirdly enough, there might be 3 different versions of Sam in this universe.
Hey! Who are you aiming at?
What? Not you? Because we see him 3 different times. One as an actor playing Alex Casey once.
Come on.
But that's presuming that the movie trailer was made in this universe and not leaking in from the Dark Place. Because we do know that television and radios can pass messages through the Dark Place, so who knows. But in here, Sam Lake has published a physics book. But we also see him one more time later on, which we'll talk about.
Jack, elevator. Let's hurry.
Okay. Okay, we got a lot of reading here again. I'm going to do this one and then probably go and make some tea real quick. There we go. Well, and IRL Flarouge, that actress who's playing Saga, is a DJ. I don't know we don't know anything about her in universe, but yeah, that's the actress who played the actress who played the Inception actress. Kind of speaking, actressception. Was a DJ in real life. Okay, so here's a bunch of things we need to do before the protest. This is from Amy Ferrero to the rest of her protest team. We only have a few days before it's happening, and we're not remotely ready, so we gotta hustle if we're gonna make this work. Unless somebody protests, I'm gonna be coordinating things, because right now we're running around like headless chickens, and there's gonna be a disaster if we don't get our act together. If somebody else wants to do this, let me know. Okay, prep before. Rita and Tommy got the supplies, but as far as we got, since you two have them, this is for the banners. You're on banner duty. Make them big and splashy. No profanity. We want them to be able to show them on TV. Make extra ones. We can hand them out. We can't have too many. For first aid, we need some kind of first aid and ready just in case some thing is going wrong. Abe, you're trained, so I'd like you to run this. Get a couple of other people to help. Let me know if you run into a wall with that. I can guilt them into doing it. I think we've got plenty of supplies from the last time, and they should still all be good. If we need something, we've got about $300 we can use for this, and let's make sure we've got plenty of water bottles to hand out. For the press release, I got this. I'll send a draft of it along tomorrow so we can do a round of feedback. Jordan, I know you've got those in media contacts, so if you have time to talk about it and sex it up as required so we can get the maximum exposure, that'd be awesome. Right now we're being kind of ignored. I know that'll change once we're underway, but I'd like the media to have this in their actual schedules. For the posters, this is pretty much taken care of. Lots of them around already, and we have social media full of that stuff now. I'd like to spread them out beyond the university, though. I'm going to go to the Port Donnelly tonight, so that one area taken care of. If anybody else can get a little Riverport tour and puts more up, let me know. Yes, you saw that too, Finger Toes. Thelma Louise happens to be one of the protesters. Thelma Louise, right? All right, University Liaison. We need to keep Riverport University calm. If they feel like we're stepping on their toes too much, we'll be fighting on two fronts. The good news is this is actually the one thing I feel like we've got completely under control. Thelma's been talking to them from the start, so if anybody gets any static from the university rep, don't argue and don't escalate. Just call Thelma. She's got it. Transport. I've got all the flyers on the PA system and tents and everybody else at my place, but the car's still busted, so somebody's going to have to pick me up on the morning of the 7th. I nominate Gary because A, he's got an SUV and he's got the space, and B, Gary's built like a brick shithouse, and those boxes of flyers and the speakers are heavy. Also, I love to watch a man work because the matriarchy is 100% real, and yes, I am part of the problem. At least she's self-aware. It'd be great if somebody could swing by and get the banners and signs from Rita and Tommy, too. Abe, I know you're gonna be busy and the other stuff, but do you think Gail could do it? I know she's not really part of this, but she's gonna have to do the drive, and she doesn't have to be at the protest itself. So during the protest, we all know how the actual protest is going to go, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll have speeches and whatnot, some chants, the usual thing. Jordan's taking care of all the onstage stuff. He'll introduce speakers and generally work the crowd. Thelma's organizing the actual program, so anything you need to get on the agenda. If somebody wants to speak, whatever, Thelma's in charge of that. If she doesn't know about it, it won't happen. So don't tell Jordan, tell Thelma. There's a thing I want to be really clear about. We have to keep this peaceful. The last thing we need is give Monarch an excuse to start anything. This is all about public image. They're going to do what they're going to do with the library, and unless the university steps in, the building's going down. We all know that. I'm hoping we can stop that, but if we can't, we can make people realize that Monarch is doing what Monarch is doing to Riverport. It only works if we look like reasonable people, and they look, well, like corporate assholes they are. Camilla, you've done this kind of thing before, so I trust you to keep an eye on everything. It'll be tricky because campus security is a subsidiary of Monarch, so if there's a problem, I don't know if it's going to be in their best interest to actually do their jobs properly. To complicate things, people are going to get wasted. I know we're saying they shouldn't, but we can't really stop it. All we can do is try to steer people who get too drunk out of there. And please, guys, everyone organizing this has to have their heads on straight, or it'll just turn into a mess. Camilla, that's on you too. I know you've got your own crew, and I trust you to handle this, but if you feel you need a hand, ask anybody. We'll drop whatever we're doing and help out. Everybody do what Camilla says. I guess that's everything for now. Let me know if there's a problem with any of this. We can do this. We just gotta hustle. All right, so this entire email, the reason it's here is because it got picked up and forwarded to Liam Burke. So Charlie Wincott hacked into their emails and kind of forward this out. Hey, Burke, check it out. I was looking for key people among the protesters in case we need to get some leverage. It's a bit of a crapshoot. It's not like they have an official website or an organization chart or something, but one of them had her email address on a poster. So I took a look in her inbox. Totally a great use of my time and expertise, by the way. These people are so interesting and not at all boring me to death. This Amy Ferrero seems to be in charge. It's not like there's a real chain of command, but she seems to be coordinating the shit and generally calls the shots. So if we're gonna grab somebody, so we can spin things on later on, she'd be the one. She's got family we can lean on if we want to go that way. Check out the email below. There's some other names and intel in there you might find useful if we need to contain this. Now go on with your bad self and get ready to, I don't know, do whatever it is you manly men types do before conducting an illegal clandestine paramilitary operation. Lift weights, arm wrestle, smear some camo paint on each other's faces. Is that a thing? Good talk. Alright, so I'm going to go on the quick BRB screen while I brew myself some tea, and we'll be right back to continue onwards. Give me a second. Alrighties, we are back. And tonight we are drinking some fruity stuff. It's going to be a strawberry lemon orange peel tea with honey. Felt like something a little bit sweeter tonight. Alrighties. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, we're about to go inside the elevator. The elevator. You joke, Trailblazer, about Zoe having her own tea set, but lately what she's been doing is I've been filling up a teacup full of filtered water from my fridge, and I just leave the teacup and she drinks out of the teacup at this point, rather than her own water bowl. But, yeah.
We can't go
She's
to
been
your
doing
car.
that a lot lately.
Monarch could be expecting that.
We have to, Jack. It's important. To fix the fracture, we need to get to my car.
Okay, just walk me through this, Will. Okay, time's broken. Fine. But now you're saying we could fix it?
In theory, I built something for such an event years ago. But finding the countermeasure won't be easy.
The countermeasure? What? Okay.
What happened?
Maybe the door's still open. Let me try.
Well, that's not good.
Will? Crap. Frozen again.
So does anyone else think it's weird that these stutters in time always seem to occur exactly when we need them to in order to survive this incident? I mean, imagine if, for example, this didn't happen. That this stutter didn't occur, we'd probably be dead right now. Isn't that just weird? But then again, we have to keep in mind that how fixed points and potentiality works. Remember, the universe will conspire to make sure at least the people involved in fixed points always end up at that destination point. And if this is one variation of reality, because this stutter could happen at any point in time throughout the course of the chapter. Any point in time. So it's like the university is finding one variation of this infinite multiverse to make sure that these guys get to their fixed point. And one way to do that is say, hey, stutter happens. Another way is to say, oh, a meteor struck these people in the head, and boom, they're gone. Or 3, they got a flat tire and couldn't make here in time. Like, they'll just find it, like, the universe will find a way to make sure that fixed point occurs without interruption. Because, yeah, we can imagine a lot of different ways for this to work, and that's one of them.
Even if the world was still frozen.
Yeah, PMK, every gun jams at the same time. That's one way to do it, too. I mean, shit.
He was right. About the fracture. About all of this.
Isn't that exactly what happened in Quantum Suicide, episode of Night Springs? Where the gun kept misfiring every time he pulled it? Because he made sure that he would never die. Therefore, the universe conspires to make sure he never dies. Until it stops doing so.
We don't want to be here when the stutter collapses.
Alright. Oh my god, that feels good. Okay, from Liam Burke to Prowler Squad. Alright, I'm going to be working in conjunction with Prowler Squad for the duration of this operation. Martin Hatch assures me that you already know your roles. But I'm sending this list to make sure you all understand the roles of the squads you will be potentially assisting in if the operation does not go according to plan.
We don't know how long this will last. Let's go.
It'll last as long as the story says it'll last. There is no room for error on this one. Bandit Squad. Establish an enforced perimeter around the university. Ensure quick arrival and departure of the Extraction Squad Corps. Prowler Squad. Move all civilians beyond viewing distance of extraction operation using cover story supplied. Contingency plan if the operation goes hot. Then apprehend any witnesses any witnesses of extraction operation. Raider Squad infiltrates physics lab, blocks all exits, apprehend Jack and William Joyce if possible, eliminate if not. Assist Extraction Squad in removing the core from the time machine. Extraction Squad, remove the core from the time machine, lower core and wheel out the extraction truck. Contingency plan: if the operation goes hot, then extract core via helicopter. Deliver core to the Ground Zero operation. Await for instructions on the final transport to Monarch. Striker Squad, remain in underground parking garage as a last resort containment measure. And we see what happens with Striker Squad later on in the game. Well, so the thing is, Wolf, like, the concept of fate in this context comes, like, this is more of a science-based versus more of a, like, in the Alan Wake setting, I'd say fate would be more of a thing. In this one, it just comes around to fixed points, and then in between individual fixed points, you have complete freedom to do anything you want, as long as those few things do occur. So, like, we have to approach these with different rules. You know what? I've never actually walked up this way during this section. I want to see if there's anything over here. Because I've personally never gone this direction. I just go straight out the front doors. Oh, so these guys are the Extraction Squad. They're heading upstairs to get to the core. Gotcha. But we'll talk more about that conversation, Wolf, literally at the end of the game.
Where's your car?
This way.
The email was sent before all this happened, so they knew this would happen. Yeah, pretty much, Bomb. They knew. Oh, and the reason why Jack is able to awaken Will is twofold. One, Will had prior exposure to Chronon, the Chronon field and radiation, or whatever you want to call it. But also, now that he has been altered, Jack technically is a source of chronons. Like, he produces chronon particles, which is essentially consumable time resource. And he can then project that chronon energy into others, as well as use it as the basis for all of his powers at the same time. But he basically keeps reinventing more within his body.
I met this girl. What are you doing? On my way here. They're moving. She's not unfreezing. It worked on you. Why isn't it working on the others?
I don't know. It may have to do with chronon exposure.
Yep. Amy's never been exposed, so therefore it doesn't work.
Goddamn invasion. What are they doing? Why? They're taking everybody. Every witness to what they've done.
Interesting little data point, which I really don't know what to think about it just yet. The TV that showed the Alan Wake Return trailer is gone. It's just missing now. It's not inside the tent anywhere. The person who is sleeping here is no longer sleeping there. So it makes me wonder if the TV there is supposed to be an anachronism. And by the term anachronism, I mean it's something that's artificially injected into the Quantum Break universe. But yeah, I don't know why it's missing. I haven't rationalized what that might mean just yet. Or if it's just an oversight. But it seems easier to just leave the asset in place rather than remove it entirely from a game development standpoint.
We can get to the parking lot through the lecture hall.
You said you were prepared for this, that you knew it was gonna happen. How?
Well, it's complicated.
It's already the Panopticon. So no one works in this office. Good to know.
Through this door.
Totsman. These are probably just game devs right here, as far as I can tell.
You should go in first, just in case.
And we have a lecture hall on organic chemistry.
No. My car. They're patrolling the parking lot. Oh, God, it's...
Okay, Will, calm down, okay? I'll take care of this. I'll fight my way through. I'll get the car and I'll bring it around.
Okay. So before we look at the iconic board, I do want to confirm, according to Google, Tom Noon, no one is a Devitt Remedy. Makes sense. Alright, so I did double check because I was curious, but all of these paintings of, I presume to be professors at this university, none of them are the same portraits from the boardroom in Control at the oldest house. Because a thought came in my head, wouldn't it be freaking weird if one of these ended up being reused asset for a former director of the FBC? That'd be freaking crazy about the implications of that. But I double checked and no, none of these are the same paintings in the oldest house. So that idea was scrapped completely. But that would be cool. Alright, so I don't understand why this is here in a chemistry lab, but there could be like a guest lecture or something. They just use this for the space. But we do have a literary analysis of Alan Wake up here on the board. Now, what we know about these chalkboard scenes is it's basically Sam just drawing himself, and they kind of just, I wouldn't say photographed it, but they kind of transposed it into the game universe. So a lot of this probably is just Sam talking about ideas he had for Alan Wake 2. So, kind of is what it is. Alright, so let's read through this. Alan Wake, a loophole, a shoebox, the safe only place that cannot be altered. Clicker, child's fear of the dark, a symbol of safety. Pretty much. Alice Wake, a Wake, did he murder her? And it's an arrow pointing at Mr. Scratch as murdering Alice. The Muse, both stranger than, the Muse, but stronger than Alan. Fickle Muse leaves him something. She can survive without him. He cannot survive without her. He banishes her in anger and regrets it. So it's literally just Sam writing over a bunch of stuff. Thomas Zane, the poet, writes about Wake. Alan Wake, the writer, writes about Zane. Who made who? Eternal closed loop, Ouroboros. And again, the closed loop is referenced within the context of this story quite often, because anytime there's a fixed point, that fixed point is both simultaneously the end and start of the loop. AWE, Alan Wake experiments, or altered world events. Kaboom. This House of Dreams clues. We just read that in the last stream. Old Scratch, the devil. Old Norse Skrat, demon. When the writer is trapped in the dark place, in other words, mad, who wears his face, his darker self? So Sam Lake, the physics professor, is also the literary professor. Again, we don't know in universe who wrote this, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if we really wanted to make the argument, you can say that the Sam Lake in the Quantum Break universe is a shifter of some kind in terms of... So he's simultaneously a physics professor, an author, a literature professor, an actor, and as we later see, a musician. But again, like, there's zero information about that whatsoever. It's just tinfoil going like, hey, wouldn't that be cool? So I wouldn't take any of that seriously. Alright, so duality, psychological, he is mad, urban reason, or both. Let me see. Brutal, hateful, editor, critic who defiles the artist world. Harsh light of reason banishes creation. Which one is light, which one is darkness? Reality, madness, or vice versa, depressing reality. By turning his back to Dr. Hartman's diagnosis, he accepts the reality of the supernatural, ascend to becoming a hero, or turns his back on reality and embraces the madness, descend. So it's more of a subjective in how you interpret it. That's correct, BB Game Master. Alan, like, nobody can use Cauldron Lake or the Dark Place to just create something from nothing. Essentially what they're doing is acting more in the role of a seer, where they're witnessing future events, and then they can, like, nudge future events in certain directions by means of their writing. but there's no just creating something from nothing. Now, within the dark place, that's a different story, but in reality, no. To reach the surface, you must first dive deeper. Supernatural, wild superstition, ignorance is really the crater. It's really happening. A crater, let there be light. Dark presence, dark place, dark matter, dark energy, 95% of our universe. Who made our world? And that is a question right there that we have to acknowledge. Who made our world? I'd argue Remedy did. At least if we're using real life. But in-universe, that actually would be interesting if in-universe the creator of the Alan Wake and the Control or the Quantum Break universe is just Remedy. And we're the reality a tier above them. Spiral into madness. Here's the first image of the spiral. Which is Cauldron, Bobber, Jagger, the dark place, deep waters of the writer's subconscious mind. It's not a lake, it's an ocean. Cauldron Lake, the endless depths. William Blake's Augury of Innocence, Endless Night. We'll talk about Augury of Innocence a little bit later, because it will come up. The meaning of the Christmas lights. Bury the goat. Birth of the Savior. AKA, Barry is the Savior, because he wears the Christmas lights. Hero's Journey, Departure. The first manuscript, initiation, question mark, return the second manuscript. So even right here, he's acknowledging that, hey, we skipped initiation, and that's why we're having problems. Yes, the spiral finger toes is the logo in the ocean view on the door, which leads to the dark place. Barry is the Christ figure, 100%. 100%. Okay, so we're going to go on a quick tangent here before we continue on with the story. So, when they were children, we're going to go back to the novel for a second. When they were kids, Jack, Paul, and Zed, they used to watch this old cartoon. There's a cartoon they watched growing up called Team Outland. And they were just obsessed with it, so much to the point where Jack literally had like a bedspread for it and posters on the walls. Very much like the Captain Baseball Bat Boy room in Max Payne 2. But the reason I bring it up is because there's some conversation in the story about which ones are their favorite characters. Now, Jack says his favorite character is a girl called Digit, is the code name. She's a redhead hacker. And he makes the joke about that character being the reason why he has a thing for redheads, because of this old cartoon crush. And considering what we know about Tim Breaker and Jesse, as well as the cop and the sibling and all the other stuff, the connection between those two characters, you make me go, And then Zed's favorite character was the sniper by the name of September. And this character had a mysterious past, would vanish all over the place, and only would pop into existence when the need arose. And essentially what ends up happening is these cartoon characters that they all enjoyed ends up becoming echoes of real-life people they meet over the course of the Quantum Break story. So even though this TV show was completely omitted from the game, in the original design there was this Max Payne level of secondary television show that echoes into reality, much like Max notices in Lords and Ladies and then Dress Unknown, that his life is being mirrored and echoed from fiction. But all of our characters in this game find their echoes within that Team Outland, and that cartoon gets talked about a lot throughout the books, so it's a big thing. It would just provide more of that Remedy inspiration of literature flair, but I guess they cut it all.
You can handle this?
No. Are you sure you can fix time?
No.
Then we'll call it even.
I mean, throughout this whole section, Jack is constantly referring to like episodes of Team Outland and as the parallel to exactly what they're experiencing. It's kind of weird.
Here, you'll need the keys. Hey, Jack. Be careful.
Yeah, okay, I will.
powers were growing. I started to sense things, premonitions, echoes from the past.
Just got orders from Monarch Actual. They want us to find a car belonging to William Joyce while we're here.
Got a plate number?
It's coming.
It's probably boron or neutron or some shit.
Boron or neutron or some shit? Fuck you, bro.
Supposed to be in goddamn Thailand.
He actually was on the beach in Thailand before Paul pulled him away.
Move up to flank!
7 just had. All right, where's your car, Will?
I could see an echo of the past. Will, arriving at the university.
Cool little thing is the hanging from Will's rearview mirror is a little dodecahedron. We gotta have those platonic solids in here. A D12. And the shape of the CFR.
I hope to God I'm not too late.
That's... I'm seeing the past.
Yep. And this kind of thing is we see all throughout Alan Wake 2, where they keep seeing echoes of different points in time, specifically in Alan's story.
Oh shit!
Kaboom!
Something clicked. I could reach out and stop time in a focused area.
You don't know what you're doing! Will. Fuck.
They're coming from where I left Will. I gotta get back to him.
I swear to God, if you hurt him!
Okay, nice and clear.
Hey, cover!
Oh shit! I should be healing right now. Where? Where?
How many of these assholes
Okay, is that it? I could swear I felt like there's somebody behind me. I was literally just standing in fire that whole time. I was just getting burnt by fire. That's my bad entirely.
I hope to God I'm not too late.
That's...
Oh shit!
Something clicked.
Yes, Darkanoid, I am aware of some of the scrap time powers.
Time in a focused
I was going to talk about that in a little bit once we get some more.
Fuck. They're coming from where I left Will. I gotta get back to him. Fast.
I swear to God, if you hurt him!
Okay, let's hang out here. Come on. Come on, come out. Just need to see where they're at. There we go.
Fuck! Shoot him!
There he is. I don't know why, like, I hear them coming out of my left ear, but they're not in that direction.
screwed the car. I need to get to Will. He's in trouble.
Hello, director.
Joyce.
Where is he? Where's my brother?
They're taking him to the library. You might still be able to catch them.
Why are you helping me? You're with them.
It's more complicated than... Look, I don't know if you can make it, but you should hurry.
That's the first time you saw Beth Wilder.
Yeah, but definitely not the first time she saw me.
Will. Will!
Okay. And yes, we have this universe's variant on director Jesse Faden. Now, there is a big variance here in between the book.
No time to lose. I gotta get to Will.
So Jack does not meet Beth at this point in time. He meets her actually for the first time at the very end. Actually, we'll talk about that then. Because it's more relevant once we get to the beginning of Act 2.
I have to reach Will before it's too late.
Supposed to take William Joyce alive if he doesn't put up a fight.
Please, let me go. I can shut the hell up. Look, just shut the fuck up, all right? Boss said to take him to the library. Wants to deal with this first.
Okay. So let me just make sure. Yep, we got 100% over there. Collectibles. We're going to get started. There's only 2 in this entire section. All right, so we got Jack Diary number 2.
Your brother was hired as head advisor on Project Promenade. Given William's concerns with the project, why do you think he accepted the position?
He knew he had to get on the inside if he was going to put a stop to it. I've got a better question for you. Why did Monarch secretly push to get my brother hired if they knew he was a threat? You wanted him there. Why?
That is simply untrue. Monarch invested heavily in the university experiment. It made sense to offer our own Cronin researcher, Dr. Kim, as the lead developer on the project. Kim's death was a tragedy for us all. But when he passed, we...
Don't play games with me.
Excuse me?
Look, you forget that I know things I didn't back then. I know what really happened to Dr. Kim.
What exactly are you inferring?
You want me to tell the truth? Then it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, in the book, Beth Wilder is a flaming redhead as well. So she looks very, identical to Jesse in that respect. If we get that far in Jack, I have played Firebreak on stream already, and I've released a few videos on it as well.
Oh, shit!
That shouldn't be possible.
Hi there.
Are you sure it's Joyce? I need visual confirmation.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop it. This is why I hate glass.
You asked for it.
Oh, interesting little lore bit from the book. But the reason Jack is able to heal himself over time is because he literally resets time on any wounds he gets. So if he gets shot, he literally just says, oh yeah, let's revert you back to a point in time before I got shot. I still need to get back to that series because I never did the mold level because they came in after I finished the series.
Don't make sense. Dragging this asshole to the library? Airlift's already initiated. He should be gone by now.
The time machine. You taking the time machine?
Hey, I said no talk.
I said no talking. I think you can speed up your body's regeneration. That's basically it. There is ability you get in this game that kind of does something similar, but it's not as more of a passive thing.
What?
You still had no idea that Wilder was helping you?
She wasn't the only one.
The McDonald cafeteria. There's one. There he is. Come on, come on, where are you going? Okay. Let's cap. Alright, we got 2 down there. Alright, let's take these boys out before they do any damage. They're doing nothing, they're just hanging out right next to me. There we go. See, this is why I generally use the regular pistol, because I can be far more accurate. Because the only problem with the automatic weapons is that their targeting reticle gets so freaking huge when you hold it down, it doesn't really do much. Except for the advanced SMG, that weapon's awesome.
Gotta get to the library.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Alright, so we got more posters for the Horror Fest. We got more Stone Crow wallpapers. We got a failed costume party. Theme, everybody is dressed as the guy who forgets there was a costume party until 2 hours before and didn't have time to buy a costume. So desperately tries to be creative and put something on at short notice, but kind of failed. You know what? That is the best costume party, because no one has to try. No one even has to try. Okay, so we got looking for night security guards for Riverport University campus. Must have at least 2 years of security-related experience. Please apply at the University Security Office in Bulgarin Hall, Wing B of Monarch Tower, Floor 7. The Bravura Security is subsidiary of Monarch Solutions. Bravura. Gotta have some Max Payne references in here, don't we? Hell yeah. And then we got this guy right here. So, roommate wanted. I'm not a uni student, but I'm looking for a roommate who doesn't have crazy baggage, both literally and figuratively. Most understand sarcasm. Also, Samantha, if Samantha reads this, then please call me. I know our first date didn't go well, but I've been doing CrossFit since then. Give me a second chance. I'm sorry. Bro, that's not how that works. That's not how that works, buddy. Alright, give me a second. I gotta let the cat back in. Okay. Zoe, let me refill your teacup. There you go. Refilling your teacup. I hope you appreciate that, because that was my drinking water that I just poured out into your little coffee mug. I think she stopped liking the water from her drinking bowl, the refillable ones, and she only wants the filtered stuff that I drink at the same time. Alright, let's get going.
Why are you taking me here?
It's a library.
Yes, she has her own coffee cup vest.
HQ, we've got William Joyce in the library. Awaiting orders. Over.
Will. They took him to the library.
Weirdly enough, her coffee cup
Find a way in. I gotta get to him fast.
is just a mug with a green dragon logo on it from Lord of the Rings. Alright, so this library that we've been fighting to save for this entire chapter is the Edward Norton Lorenz Memorial Library. So I mentioned this in my chaos theory video, but he is a meteorologist and physicist, a real-life guy who wrote a paper and essentially coined the term the Gull effect, which later got changed to the butterfly effect. So he's kind of like the grandpappy of chaos theory, depending on how you look at it. Real-life guy. Okay, I thought there was an echo here somewhere, or maybe it's during our revisit of the area. You can skip your reunion, Draco. I skipped my reunion. I actually have my 20-year high school reunion in a couple years.
I need to get in that library.
Ugh. Finger Toes, I am Pacific Standard, so I'm on West Coast.
There's got to be another way in.
And I'm gonna try to finish up one entire act per stream. So I'm kind of just committed just to go until we finish up the act.
Where did that come from? Looks like I'm not the only one with a grudge.
Someone's been killing these guys, and it's not us.
Here I thought it was gonna be a quiet night, but it sounds like things have taken a real bad turn down at the anti-Monarch protest at Riverport University. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I've just heard about security personnel in the employee of Monarch Solutions detaining students, and some reports of gunfire. Now, I don't want to jump the gun here. This is unconfirmed, and obviously I don't know the details, but no matter how you slice it, it sounds like a bad scene. You know I'm not a big fan of Monarch or how they do things, but at the same time, I hope nobody's going overboard with this protest thing. It's just a goddamn building, people. It ain't worth anybody getting shot over. Although, if they are shooting people over, that's some heinous bullshit right there. Either way, I've got a feeling this is gonna get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Stay safe, people.
Do I have subtitles turned on? I do, it's just those aren't turning on. Okay, that's fine. It's actually funny because that sentiment that Bobby just made, when Amy was talking to Jack earlier about, like, hey, the library, it's 100 years old, they're about to tear it down. In the book, Jack is a little more dismissive to her during that, solely because he's very well-traveled. He's been going all over the world for the last 6 years, and he's like, lady, I've come across people destroying monuments that are 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years old. 100 years of history in this one spot is a blip on the radar compared to the kind of destruction I've seen in other parts of the world. And that's kind of like his position on the whole thing. Like, he does sympathize, but at the same time, he's like, hey, it's so much worse than just a quick century here. Alright, so this song is called For Granted, and it's by a group named Symmetry.
That looks like a way up.
Okay, let's get going.
Come on, I don't have time for this.
Oh, yes, that part of video game history where yellow is everywhere and tells you where to go. How did that get started, by the way? Why was that a thing for a few years?
This is Airlift Prime. We've got the Time Machine Core in transit.
Hey! Hands where I can see!
She's literally just spawn camping at this point.
What the hell is going on around here?
Because remember, there was 2 bodies already in that exact same spot, so people just show up, snipe, another guy shows up, snipe, another guy shows up, snipe. Just freaking spawn camping.
HQ, we've got William Joyce in the library.
With a wrench.
Over.
I wonder where the brother is.
The skeleton crew and wait for arrival of Monarch Actual. Everybody else needs to reunite
Library's ready to blow. Now?
Frickin' spawn camping over here. I don't like the heavy pistol. I like the smaller one. Because honestly, headshots give you insta-kills, so why would you trade fire rate and ammo capacity for power if you can one-hit KO anyways? I never understood the heavy pistol in this one.
Why are you taking me here?
It's a library. I need to return some fucking books. HQ, we've got William Joyce in the library. Awaiting orders. Over.
Libra library. Yep.
Jack, run!
I love how they take a second. It's like, oh god, there's someone there. We should probably do something about that. Alright, so this ability is kind of also explained in-game that he can heal himself and it resets time for injuries. Because this is how you heal yourself if you're in a pinch. You create a temporary shield that also heals while you're standing inside of it. I mean, this is a really cool looking library, I'm not gonna lie. Bro, just go away. Oh my gosh, just go away. Can't see him. Where are you at? Where are you at? There you are. Wow, that explosion literally messed up my audio.
Thanks for the heads up.
Thanks for the heads up while I shoot him in the head. That is fucked up, Jack. That is bad timing for that witticism.
Will, you alright? Define alright.
You're fine. I got a whole new batch of messed up shit I need you to explain.
We have to hurry. Where's my car?
I didn't like the color. Let's get a new one.
What? No, Jack. I need them.
Hold that thought.
100%. Okay, good. Okay, Jack is just being dense during this whole thing, where he's like, okay, yeah, we don't care about the car. Like, no.
I'll take you shopping. It's a fucking briefcase.
A briefcase that contains something I need in order to stop the fracture.
Like, that's just implied.
And you didn't think to spell that out to me before.
I was a little busy getting...
Yeah, well, it's not too late to leave here.
How the hell are you staying alive?
That's part of the messed up shit I need explained. You got any theories about being able to manipulate time? No.
Shit, move.
Come up with one.
Why are they still shooting? They said they wanted to take us alive.
I think they changed their mind.
Okay, just the one left. I mean, this would, like, without, yeah, I agree, without all the construction equipment, this library would look pretty freaking awesome. It's just,
yeah, I think so.
Under renovation.
We have to get to my briefcase. Then we find Beth Wilder.
Why?
No, there's no melee in this game.
She knows about the fracture. I trust her.
Glad you trusted somebody.
Oh, and by the way, this QR code just takes you to a the Remedy webpage.
For you to keep you safe.
Safe? Look around you, Will. Does this feel safe to you?
This isn't my fault. Beth warned me this would happen. I did everything in my power to stop it.
But you never told me any of this.
I couldn't just...
How long have you known?
We don't have time for this now, Jack. We have to get to that briefcase.
Okay. So we're almost done with the act, and then we're moving to our first junction point, but there's going to be a lot of lore dumping as soon as we get to that junction. Yeah, Resonant's going to be the first melee game for Remedy. Otherwise, they're all shooters. And a racing game.
Jack!
Paul?
Jack, we gotta go.
Hold on.
I'm sorry, Jack. Paul, what happened to you? What are you doing?
Only what's necessary.
Think about this. You don't know what's at stake.
I know exactly what's at stake. That's why I'm here. You believe you can stop what's coming?
I'm giving you one chance to change your mind. This path, it's already said it can't be changed. The past, the future, I've seen it. I've lived it. For 17 years.
17 years. It was you, the first experiment.
Come with me and we can see this through. Or hold on to your hope and burn with it.
Now listen, I built a device. I can stop this. I can.
You can't.
This is madness. There's no harm in trying.
There is. That's why I can't risk you opposing me, Will. It doesn't have to end like this.
We can't just let this happen. I'll never stop trying.
It took me years to come to terms with what must be done. But we don't have years.
Wait.
Trigger. I never wanted this.
You're not going.
Alright, so the tune is It's Up to You Now by the Black Keys. Weirdly enough, a lot of these I can't find lyrics online. Because it seems like Remedy got a bunch of like small musicians to contribute, like local Finnish musicians. But not a lot of them have like a big presence, so lyrics are kind of hard to analyze, unfortunately. Alright, let's get to the junction point, and then we're going to have a big lore dump.
My name is Paul Serene. I founded Monarch Solutions 17 years ago with a very clear purpose. There are those who would question my actions. I'm recording this as a final statement of vindication, a testimony of how things came to be. I've always been devoted to my mission. Never deterred from my goal, no matter the sacrifice. Because I've seen where this leads. I've seen where it all ends.
We have a problem. No word from Jack Joyce's transport. It should have arrived here by now. We may have a traitor on the inside. You're due for your treatment. I'll find who's behind this.
Find Jack. That's our priority. Get your best man on it.
There's more. As you know, Jack's level of interference led to unexpected complications. Witnesses from the university were transported here. You need to take a look. We can't afford any further obstacles at this stage of the plan. Now, I see two options. We could use force, remove any loose ends.
Sir?
But if those witnesses disappear,
The public will start asking questions, potentially turn on Monarch.
Alternatively, I could mount a broad PR strategy, get the city on our side. But that leaves us with
the loose ends.
Precisely.
All clear, sir.
The choice is yours, but keep in mind, the men will view your decision as a unified strategy moving forward.
Okay.
Serene?
Hello there, Jerry. That guy's name's Jerry, I've decided. Alright, so...
I suggest we deal with the issue at hand. Liam Burke over there can explain the situation in more detail.
Perfect. But first things first, we have Beth's first audio diary.
October 9th, 0400 hours. Monarch operation moves into the university in 15 minutes. This is it. Years of training, all leading up to this moment. Just need to keep my cover just a little bit longer. Monarch's objective is to apprehend Jack and William Joyce. Alive, if possible. If what she told me is true, then this operation is gonna end in a shitstorm. It's up to me to make sure Jack gets out of this thing in one piece, but I can't risk blowing my cover just yet. The notebook didn't give me any orders regarding William. Still not sure how Jack is the key to all of this if William is the one with all the answers. We're about to find out. Okay. It's time to do this. Beth Wilder, signing off.
Okay. So we're going to get a little bit more into Beth's backstory right now. Alright. So her experience with Monarch up until this point is there's a division within Monarch called the C Division or the Chronon Division, and it's the recruiting wing to bring people into their Chronon tech soldiers, basically, the ones that wear the rigs that can operate within stutters and things like that. So they basically put people through a training program for the sole purpose of being able to psychologically contend with the entire concept of existing in zero state, in frozen time. And 90% of all their applicants end up failing because they just cannot deal with the psychological pressure of existing in that state. And I want to say 30% of those who wash out have permanent psychiatric help to deal with everything. And they have things down... Let me see if I can find out, because I'm going off the top of my head, but I know there's a section I talked about this. I may talk about this a little bit later in my stream notes, but little things like claustrophobia and mental disraveling and things of that nature are very common. Now, Beth intentionally went into Chronon Division solely to learn how their tech works, and then intentionally scrubbed out of the program. Because if she was part of C Division, it'd force her to basically be under the microscope and have to follow orders to a certain degree. If she's not in it, she has more freedom within the Monarch. So she learned how the tech works and then intentionally washed out. On top of that, Liam Burke also did the same thing, where he was in the recruiting stage for C Division, but he was scrubbed for different reasons. But we'll talk about that. I think like Act 2 discusses what's going on with Liam. Now, one of the leader, or I'd say the head guy in C Division, is the man Randall Gibson. We mentioned him earlier. His character was deleted from the game and turned into the Liam Burke character. But Gibson in the story, he's married. He has a daughter named Lorelei, who's kind of like the unofficial mascot of C Division, where everybody who works in the Chronon field, the Chronon mercenaries, they just treat her like their own daughter kind of thing, and all that fun stuff. After the events of Act 1 right here, in the book, Hatch demotes Gibson because he allowed Paul to kill Will. Now, Martin Hatch and Paul Serene were very much opposed on this note. Hatch wanted to keep Will alive and kill Jack off, while Paul wanted to kill Will and keep Jack alive. So they were just completely opposite things. And Gibson and C Division usually reports directly to Hatch, not to Paul. In the book, most people don't even know that Paul exists in relation to Monarch. He's not even present within their lives, so it's kind of weird for anyone to report to him directly, except in rare occasion. Now, Gibson gets demoted because Will ended up getting killed on his watch. But also he makes a comment that, because Gibson is well aware of Paul, but tells him that Paul is being set up in this story to play the role of the villain in the upcoming drama, while Monarch will be its heroes. Now, more details on what that means later on in the game, but he's putting him into a mummer's role in that sense. Now, Paul does have his followers outside of Monarch as well, all over the world. One of which happens to be, for example, the widow of an old Russian warlord. Happens to be a zealot for Paul's actions here. And he also claims that he's being hunted by shifters. Paul is. So every time there's a stutter in the book, shifters show up. In the game, we don't really see this, but technically, shifters only exist within Zero State, so whenever it happens, Paul specifically is being hunted by them. And we'll get into more details on that, but there's one very specific shifter that seems to just have it in for him. We only know it by the name of Shining Palm. So Shining Palm is a much larger shifter than the others, and specifically is hunting Paul, but it happens all the time. And in that scene right after after the building collapses on top of Will, there is a stutter, and Paul witnesses them and freaks out and has like one of his episodes. So he's not really there to help get Jack secured. So what happens is Beth shows up and literally injects Jack with a syringe and then carries his body when no one's paying attention. Because, again, Paul's distracted by other things going on. And drags him and puts him in the back of Nick Marster's cab, as well as helping Amy Ferrero into the back of Nick's cab. Because in the book, Nick and Amy both survive. Neither of them die. So Beth sets it up to have Nick get both Amy and Jack out of this area and gives him directions on where to go. And we'll talk about where they go in Act 2, because it's not relevant right now, but we will talk about it a lot in Act 2. And also during this scene, when we're walking around as Paul, in the book, he still has his necklace with the silver bullet. We don't have it in game, unfortunately. I thought that'd be a really cool detail if he did. But in the book, he's still wearing that silver bullet from when they survived the mobster's assassination.
I want this delivered to my office.
What is it?
A reminder.
Paul, the men are waiting for your input.
Hey, we have plenty of time. It's fine. Alright, so a lot of Paul's Chronon syndrome, which we see with his hand jittering with the particle effects, it's less to do that he's becoming disentangled.
Serene brought down the whole building just to take out that geek. Stone cold, man. Talk about making a point.
Shh, he's listening.
I am listening, and you're interrupting my speaking time. Anyways, it's more so that there is multiple versions and alternate timelines of Paul that's trying to like vie for control right now, where he's kind of like disentangling between different versions of reality. Less to do with time specifically.
How long until the core is ready for transport?
It'll be en route to Monarch headquarters in less than an hour. Installation should be complete before the gala.
Good.
Yeah, shifters really were cut from the game almost entirely, which is unfortunate because they talk about them quite a bit in the, at least in Act 3 of the game. And the reason that they give in the art book, The Secret History of Time Travel, is because there was a section planned where you were playing Beth in the End of Time, where you had a whole section in the End of Time where you're playing as her, and in there you would be dealing with the shifters quite a bit. And when they ended up cutting that End of Time section for time reasons, they really had no need to include the shifters anymore, so they just didn't really take the time to really develop them. But the closest thing we get, if you want some kind of idea of how they worked, is, oh gosh, what are they called? Astral spikes from Control. So in the astral plane of Control, you have those astral spikes, so it's more like things to avoid, and that's how the shifters were kind of going to perform in this game. So you can get an idea of what they would have been if they kept them. Is Paul becoming a shifter? Yes. Slowly.
Jack would never understand the necessity of what I'd done. It wasn't the death William deserved, but his knowledge posed too great a risk to our plan.
Alright, so we got a dossier on William Joyce, project consultant for the Project Promenade, witnessed the core heist operation, captures alive if possible, delivered to Paul Serene. Estranged brother of Jack Joyce, renowned physicist, proposed existence of Chronon Field at age 19, invented the first time machine prototype, developed the countermeasure, joined Project Promenade as consultant after death of Dr. Kim. Notable qualities: history of exhibiting erratic behavior, undiagnosed but likely suffers from a schizophreniform disorder. I actually do question that a little bit, because we don't know what that means. Is his paranoid schizophreniform characteristics because he met a time traveler from the future who gave him advanced knowledge? Because if that happens and you try to tell people about that, they're going to think you're crazy. So I'm wondering if some of his diagnoses are as a result of that, but we do get inference that, yes, he has other things going on besides that. Anyways, highly intelligent, receives warnings of fracture from unknown female source, may have received knowledge of Chronon-related Monarch operations, will refuses to accept the inevitability of the end of time, may lead to unpredictable behaviors. Briefings. Dr. Joyce will be present at the end of the time machine during the onset of the fracture at 4:15 a.m. All exits are to be covered by Prowler team. Raider team will wait until 4:16 to breach the time machine room. William Joyce will be apprehended upon entry.
It was the first time I'd visited the Ground Zero operation in ages. The location I'd arrived in when I went 17 years back in time. The location where my fate was sealed 6 years ago.
Actually, Dark Note, I think the most depressing piece of cut content was the steel mill, which we'll talk about that next during the Act 2, about what the steel mill section of Quantum Break was supposed to be that they ended up just getting rid of entirely. But it posed a really cool world building opportunities that they just got away from, unfortunately.
We had Jack in custody, but I was starting to witness visions from the future which made it clear that could change very soon.
Okay, so Jack Joyce dossier. Civilian witnessed the core heist, captured alive if possible, to live with Paul. Known friend of Paul Serene before incident, parents are deceased. Raised self in teen years as brother became distant. Criminal record in Massachusetts, grand theft auto, simple assault, attempt to rob or steal. Left Riverport in 2010, never returned until incident. Received weapons training in Laos, light and heavy firearms. Arrested for weapons-related charges in 2015. The charges were dropped. History of violent behavior when pushed. Lack of respect for authority figures. No knowledge of fracture or Monarch operations. Onset of fracture will render Jack Chronon enabled. May possess low-level Chronon abilities. Clinically speaking, delusions is not enough to constitute schizophreniform disorders. No, I agree. So schizophreniform shows itself as hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized speech, but lasting for at least 1 month or less than 6 months. Okay, copy that. So it's more like to do with the delusional disorders than the other things. Okay. Briefing. Jack Joyce will be present at the time of the machine during the onset. 4:15, blah, blah, blah. We already read all this. This is the same as it is on the other dossier. And we're at 100% here. Now, I always go hardline here.
Sir.
Who is this?
Unfortunately.
Amy Ferrero. She's one of the witnesses. Awaiting your orders on how to proceed.
My powers grew stronger, even as the Chronon syndrome worsened. I could choose a path that would become the actual future, but it wasn't optional. The moment wouldn't end until I made up my mind.
Okay, let me see if I have this. Okay, before we make this decision, actually, let's look at both options, and then we're going to go on more of a novel story time.
Any potential threats to our plan need to be erased.
Wait!
Monarch would take a hardline approach. Crush all obstacles, eliminate all witnesses. It would be harsh. But I had made hard choices for the greater good before.
I dug through the area and I found everything I could on your bro. This is messed up, man. I trusted Monarch.
But the people of Riverport would turn against us. Our secrets would be safe, but the public would hate us, and Jack would gain new allies.
Monarch's got no authority to stop you, and you tell that to everybody on that bridge.
Initialize a PR campaign.
I want his name.
And that violence was because of Jack Joyce.
Monarch would take a PR-friendly approach and manipulate the public into siding with us. Our lies would give us control.
The manhunt continues as authorities search for Jack Joyce.
Somebody's sneaking around down there. Hey! I think that's Jack Joyce!
We'd use the media to expose, then hunt for Jack.
I uploaded all the files I stole on that USB stick from the Monarch security station.
But the eyewitnesses would be out there, and Jack would learn our secrets.
Okay. So the two big things I want to talk about right here before we lock into our hardline decision. Well, three things technically. So I would say no, this is not Paul shifting between different realities or time streams here. Because that contextually can only happen if there is already a fixed point. Now, if there was a fixed point, that would mean that the PR route was all... In this universe, the PR route is what happened as being fixed. And if he decided to say, you know what, I know that's the fixed point in this universe, let's just skip over and shift to a different universe so we can do Hardline. Then, yes, you would be, semantically speaking, jumping between universes. In what's going on here is there is no fixed point for Hardline or PR. And as a result, there's just an infinite variations of what could happen at this point in time, and he's making the decision to collapse the wave function. Now, a wave function is the field of potential realities, and when you observe it, then the wave function collapses into a single point, which is that one fixed point in that universe. So we're essentially taking the wave function of Hardline or PR and collapsing it into a single potentiality. Is the cat dead or alive? Left or right? Hardline, PR, now we're no because we're looking at it. So we're not slipping between universes. Now, that is something that possibly could happen, but not as of right now. And on that note, Paul's ability is far more insane than it shows here, because for the purposes of the game, they have to make this easy for us. You have an A or B decision. In the book, when he goes into these junction states, he literally starts pulling a Doctor Strange and observes millions of variations. Where it says, okay, let's look at Hardline. If I did Hardline and I did this and I did that and this happened, you had like a freaking multi-million variations of Hardline and PR, where he could literally basically pull a tool-assisted speed run. He can do a TAS of the reality to figure out the exact optimal way to do every step of the way. Turn left here, use this word here, use this hand gesture here, send an email to this person, and do this. Like, he could literally think 10,000 steps ahead. He can observe multiple possibilities. The problem is, every time he goes into that state, it gets harder and harder for him to come out of it. Because again, he's got Chronon Syndrome, and he's pushing himself slowly into becoming a shifter, and shifters exist in that 24/7. That's just a default state of being. So him doing this, it's harder and harder to return to the surface. Just like when you get into the dark place, it's harder and harder to come back into reality. That's kind of what's going on with him. But it is described that every single time he goes into that state, his Chronon syndrome gets worse. But at the same time, his ability to dive deeper into that multiversal space becomes stronger. So he gets better at it, the worse his syndrome gets. And it gets worse the more he does it. So he's constantly pulling this, so he's always doing the optimal thing. Now, the PR route... Dean, was the steel mill section in the book too? No, that wasn't in the book at all, Darkanoid. Now, there is a PR campaign not part of this Junction in the book, which is far more thought out than it was in the game. So, in the game, it's kind of sloppy what they did. They had Monarch troops in Monarch insignia showing up and start basically leading a siege on the university. That now they have to go, oh, now we have to kill people or do this. That's not what happened in the book. So in the book, they essentially had Monarch mercenaries, but dressed them in different uniforms. So they had these armor sets that had little smiley faces on it, right? Not Monarch. So these were not Monarch, quote-unquote. They were these smiley face things. Now, what they did is Monarch called them out and said, this is a domestic terrorist organization called the Peace Movement, and they are an anti-Monarch terrorist group, the Peace Movement, and they wear the smiley face. It's a very big, iconic thing. So if you see someone walking, like, doing something in the smiley face, you know, oh, they're part of that terrorist group, the Peace Movement. Now, the ones that infiltrated and assaulted the university were wearing those smiley face uniforms, so Monarch says, that's not us, that's an anti-us domestic terrorist group, right? And they made the claim in the PR is that Jack is a member of the Peace Movement, and they were able to point out real-world stuff to support it. One, because he had a history of in Afghanistan, Thailand, and Syria, and they started reporting on all of his activities that he got up to. Yeah, so they made a false flag attack, PMK, exactly. So they brought up all of his past in foreign nations and made the claims like, oh yeah, he's a total mercenary out there, so he came back and joined as the head of this terrorist group here domestically that's against us. So any of the students that were killed as a result of the collateral, Monarch didn't do it, the Peace Movement did it. And some of these students end up being intentionally allowed to survive solely to pass along the story. For example, Amy Ferrero and Nick Marsters were intentionally allowed to live because then they would go on and report, hey, no, these guys in the smiley face uniforms are the ones doing all this. And they can tell the news media, they can tell everyone, and then boom, the story just continues to go on from there. And this is a very big thing throughout the course of the plot of the game. This is just the start of it, though. So let's just put a hold here. Unfortunately, sorry, Amy, in-game, who doesn't get to survive this hardline, because Nick being in the story, it makes far more sense when it comes to the Remediverse as a whole, because Amy doesn't really contribute much to the plot. Nick contributes far more, and anything that Amy gives us is just information on Monarch, which we'll read anyways because I have all the collectibles pulled up, even the ones we don't get, based on our timeline choices. But anyways, 1, 2, 3. Sorry.
We're taking the hard line. Any potential threats to our plan need to be erased.
Take her and the others to the Ground Zero operation.
Make it quick. Painless.
No, wait. Please! Please stop! Please! Help me!
Jack! There's no other way out. We're going through the machine.
Oh, wait, no!
Jack! This way! Jack!
I use my power to guide us, to decide how to best prepare for the inevitable end of time. That gives the chosen few a chance to survive. I've seen the end of time.
Boom. Seems like nobody likes to go hardline. That's kind of sad. Well, Paul K. draws. I will talk more about why Paul went down this path and his relationship with Hatch later on, because there's a whole section in the book. There's like a couple chapters, which is just the end of time and what's actually going on in there. And there's a lot that happens into there the game never discusses. And it gets messy. It gets messy. So there's a lot, like Paul's character in the book is so much more sympathetic than he is in the game. So much more sympathetic, but we'll get there. We'll get there. You guys ready for some TV? Let's watch some TV. I really don't have a lot to pause during this unless I really need to, but let's get going.
Time's up.
What do you want?
Names, witnesses, anyone who might implicate Monarch. See those two men on either side of you? Well, I'm going to stand. I'm going to leave. And the one on your right is going to shoot you in the head.
Fuck you.
Goodbye, door. I mean, Hatch.
Wait!
Okay, so that guy right there, that's Gibson.
What's wrong with you?
So the character from the book was consolidated and cut and just turned into a random guy named Gibson in the movie, or in the TV show. The stutter just happened if you didn't pick up on that. And those eye drops. I'm sorry, Fingertoes, I didn't see your Dune comment. Go ahead and repost it.
Liam, walk with me. Seems your work's been undone. We just lost communication with Jack Joyce's transpo.
How the fuck does that happen?
Knowing how isn't important. You just need to find him. Wincott is working on a location.
Great.
What is it?
What?
Something's wrong.
University. That's not how we operate. It was sloppy.
Have all your operations gone smoothly? Go home, Liam. Wait for the call. I'm sure your wife misses you.
I see Fingertoes. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I mean, I'd say that's Paul from Dune's... Hold on. I'd say in that scenario, Paul's prescience from Dune really... It's because he's trying to find an optimal outcome. He's trying to force the universe down a single path, which is what Paul in this game is kind of doing, but for different reasons. Okay, before we look at the Charlie Wincott sections, so in the art book, they make a little psychological observation of Charlie as a character. They say he is the perfect archetype, or not perfect, but he's in the archetype of the dweeby kid who was bullied all throughout school and really was very poorly socialized growing up to be in a position of power where he can then turn around and bully people as kind of his own little mini revenge. But he's still poorly socialized at the same time, and can't really associate with people as a result of his childhood. The bully turns into the bully himself.
Security forces. Okay, now, City Hall servers are on a different platform than the rest of Riverport because they have all these government contractors who need two-way access. That means weaknesses. So, all we have... Huh?
Where?
Where what?
Weaknesses, you said.
Shut the fuck up, Bernard. Now, all we have to do is identify as a client who had previous access, maneuver our way through all the holes poked in the firewall, and assuming all these ports are just left open, then all we have to do is use the protocol numbers and just move our way up. Simple? Come on. Come on. And we're in. Yeah? Street cams, dash cams, computers at headquarters. I mean, hell, I could hijack police scanners and put out an APB on your mom. What the fuck is that? What is that?
Coffee?
Yeah, I know, it's coffee. What the fuck is it doing on my desk, Brenner? Have you ever seen one of these? Hmm? You know what it is?
Coaster.
Coaster. Yeah, do they have these in Idaho?
Iowa.
Whatever. Use it. Now, you tell me what's next, Brenner?
I don't know.
I know you don't know, and that makes me sad for you. All we do now, we draft an email to Mayor Rackley letting him know that Monarch is offering their private security forces, which of course he's gonna take because at this point, without him knowing, we've tied both his hands behind his back when he wasn't looking. And that, Brenner, is how you take Riverport under Monarch control.
It's fucking awesome.
Shit.
And then for the PR route, they go a little bit different thing where Charlie essentially gets compromising photographs and video of a media employee who's into some extramarital BDSM stuff and blackmails him to play Amy's video, and that's how they start their PR campaign.
Mr. Hatch, perfect timing.
Wincutt, where are we with Joyce?
Joyce, yeah, I've got the cameras. I just need to find a locale.
Keep an eye on it. And when you find him, contact Burke directly. I think we have a traitor in our midst.
Traitor? Hello? Oh, but I'll let you go, Mr. Hatch. Thank you.
Was that Martin Hatch?
Get the fuck out of my office. Get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah, I agree, PMK. He's still seeking validation, even though he's kind of demanding / feels entitled to it because of his position that is instrumental. It is instrumental, but he enjoys it too much solely because it feeds into the validation he needs. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so remember, in the book, this character was actually Randall Gibson, who was married and had a daughter. And since they scrapped that character, they turned it into Liam, who also is married, but they don't have a child yet, but she's pregnant. So it's kind of like you see the ideas behind it, but it's not entirely the same.
Things have been really bad at work. I'm sorry.
I dreamt you were a cat.
A cat?
Mm-hmm. With these big furry bear paws. Way too big for your body. It was a strange creature. But I knew it was you.
I have to get back to work soon.
You work more than any field manager in the history of field managers. Baby, you haven't been home in 2 days.
Your mom's being difficult.
Oh, I'm
She is.
I'm
She's
being difficult, huh?
She's being very difficult.
Stop.
What?
I don't think that's the baby. Okay. You would.
Close your eyes.
It's okay. Go.
Yeah.
Burke, we got a lead on Joyce.
What is it?
I was able to track his transpo to a warehouse on Burgundy and Wilkins. It's inside Ground Zero perimeter. Sending you the coordinates now.
I gotta go.
Ah, come on. Buffering is fine, but just keep going. Yeah, this has always been a problem because you're streaming it, so you gotta pull it off the server. Oh, come on. Okay, let's let it pause here for a second and let it do its thing. I mean, the easier way to do this, because I'm playing this on Steam, is just include the episodes in the Steam files, because then you can literally just pull the freaking MP4 right off the computer, versus getting it off the server, in which case you have to deal with this kind of issue. I don't know why optimally they did that. It makes no freaking sense. Just from an architecture standpoint, it doesn't make sense why they would go that route. But it's kind of interesting how different Gibson and Liam's characters are between the book and the game, because a lot of what drives Gibson has less to do with protecting his family, but more to do, he just has a grudge out for Beth. And he doesn't give a shit about any collateral, what happens to him and what happens to his family. He just wants to take, which I don't think is as interesting a character as what they did with Liam, where his entire character is centered around, no, I want to take care of my family. Anyways.
Private security.
Look, Alan Wake's sudden stop right there on the TV stand.
From the reports I'm getting, it seems like this is becoming a very volatile situation, one that could boil over at any
So Alan
moment.
is an author in this
Police
universe
are
as well.
asking that citizens stay clear of the area and
Now, my hypothesis is that he did not disappear into the dark place. He just wrote a book called Departure, released it, and they later made a video game about it. Gotta love those moving JPEGs. It looks so bad.
we reached out personally to Monarch CEO Martin Hatch for a statement, but the company refuses to comment. The cause of
Yeah, correct, Arkanoid. Remedy was not really involved in the live-action TV show, so a lot of this is Microsoft crew making this, so there's a difference in quality for sure.
Headquarters demanding answers. Our thoughts are with the families of Amy Ferraro and all others who are missing at this time. More on this story as it develops.
Oh yeah, so for those who don't know, the PR route, they basically threaten Amy's family and make her release a false testimony that Jack was responsible for the attack on the school, and they're playing this all over the news media. So that's part of their big PR campaign there.
There's been a development.
Jack.
You've already seen it.
Tonight on the island. He'll be there, and he'll want revenge. I need him stopped now.
I think our focus may be somewhat misguided here.
Your fifth column traitor?
You shouldn't take it so lightly. Joyce got lucky. He escaped. He's gone. He wouldn't be foolish enough to come back. Our only vulnerability is within, Paul. You should see that.
Telling me what I've already seen.
You're not thinking clearly. You need your treatment.
You've been the face of Monarch for all these years, Martin. But let's get clear on something. This is still my ship.
And I simply don't want to see you go down with it.
Just find him.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to take you live to a press conference Riverport's own Mayor Rackley is currently holding regarding last night's violence at Riverport University.
The Riverport Police Department is currently investigating the premature demolition of the university library. Monarch Solutions is lending a hand in this investigation. I want to encourage the people of Riverport to offer them every assistance in finding those responsible. Police are not releasing any information until they complete their investigation. A government bill to crack down on laboratory experiments on animals is expected to become law today. Animal rights activists
Over in the lab at the university this morning, someone solved the equation.
Huh?
I've just received word that Monarch security forces have teamed up with local police to hopefully
Quantum
keep
rip
the people
right
of
there.
Riverport safe as this very unsettling story continues to unfold.
Yeah, so that little land dialogue wouldn't have happened if you didn't do their ripple with Will messing with it. And again, like, that's just a big difference because they made it very clear in the game that it's because they didn't take into account the variable and safeguard that if you try to go forward to a point in time where the machine was deactivated, then, oh, you'd end up at the end of time because it's a null value in the coding. Whereas that variable is like, hey, if this happens, then take care of this. So, I don't know. They're dumb.
What's up, IT?
You wish I was IT.
I like the sabotage
Hey,
route better.
Security clearance being here.
Security clearance.
Access granted.
I thought you might have been up all night, so...
You didn't get the runny kind, did you?
No, it shouldn't be. It's cool, they're new. Oh, man.
Fiona Miller. Terminated. You're fired.
So what's the 411?
He's not gonna say anything though.
The 411.
Yeah, the 4.
He'll talk shit to Brenner nonstop about it, but he will not say anything against her because again, his whole psychology is he needs validation, and he's not gonna interrupt this if it means taking that away from him.
411.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine?
Everything's fine.
There was a shootout at the university last night.
Nothing I couldn't handle.
All right. Do you think they're gonna cancel the party tonight?
Are you kidding? No way. Hatch knows what he's doing.
You gonna go?
To a party? Me? Go to a party. I don't know.
We can roll together if you want.
That awkward kid is coming out so much right now.
Yeah, all right, I'll go.
Okay, buddy. What are you gonna wear?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go naked.
Nice, I like that.
Seriously, he's
I gotta get
behaving
back
like
to
a
my
teenager
desk,
that just got asked out for his first date, and he
night?
just
Yeah.
does not know how to respond. Which is kind of what's
See you
happening,
tonight.
like legitimately what's going on, but...
Buddy. Buddy.
His brain just shut off. Agreed. Hey, we've all been there. Let's be real. See, you notice how her hair is redder in the live action scenes than it is in the game?
This isn't what it looks like.
Fuck, Beth. I really didn't want it to be you.
You need to listen to me.
Step away from the van.
Step away! Right now! Drop the gun.
I can't do that.
You've 3 seconds till I pull.
I have better reflexes.
And you're a marksman for shit.
No. No! Gosh, he's gone. Do you see what's happening?
The stutters.
More and more.
Beth, what is going on?
Time is breaking down. The end is coming, and Joyce could be the key.
Wait, the end of what? Beth, the end of what? The end of what?
Of time! Of time! Of life as we know it, the entire universe, gone. And somehow, Monarch has been preparing for it. They knew it was coming. There's this thing. It's called a lifeboat protocol, and it can save us, at least some of us.
Hands on your head, down on your knees.
Brown.
Wilder, do not make me ask again. Joyce just took down half my men. You think maybe he had some help?
We're unarmed. I was responding to
I do not give a fuck.
Hey, I am with Monarch.
On your knees!
If they take me in, then it's the end for me. And for you.
Down!
Just do what he says.
Do not let them take us. We'll never find the lifeboat. Think about Emily.
Just relax.
Liam!
Shut up!
This lifeboat protocol. What is it?
I don't know. But Dr. Kim was at the center of it.
Dr. Kim?
If you can get into his lab.
It's impossible. It's been closed up since he disappeared.
Do you know anyone who could get you in?
Come on, guys. 29 down. 40 more to go. And more. Thanks, Fiona. It's disgusting.
Agreed. I cannot have a fried egg sandwich if it's that runny.
Holy shit. Liam Burke. Gotcha, buddy.
Agreed, Hallman. Fringe is amazing.
That's just gonna
Awesome
love
show.
this. Oh shit. The fucking golden boy.
All right, BP Game Master. So one of the reasons why Liam turned against Monarch so quickly, remember, he was briefly involved in C Division, which means he understands time tech. He understands the mechanisms. He doesn't know specifically what's going on with Monarch or what he's involved in, but he does know some of the details. And earlier on in this episode, he does witness some of the striker crews basically teleporting is how he perceives it, because there's a stutter. So he's aware that this kind of stuff is happening, but he hasn't put the pieces together. So when Beth shows up and says, hey, by the way, XYZ, it feeds in to his what he already knows. So it's not just a random person saying, oh, by the way, time is stopping. But he already has a foundational basis of knowledge that says, oh, that makes sense. And then he will turn on Monarch quick because it's about protecting his family. So it's not like it came out of nowhere for him. Anyways.
Watch out.
Monarch employees, the food trucks will be parked outside till 2:30.
Food trucks at work. Okay, sorry to interrupt again. Story time. So my first job, when I started working, every Friday we had a farmer's market in the parking lot of the building I worked out of. So we had those food trucks. We had oh my god, it was so nice. Everyone would take our lunch breaks and just go across the farmer's market and get stuff outside the building. It was awesome. Anyway, sorry. I heard the lady over the intercom saying that we have the food trucks out front of the Monarch thing, and that reminded me of that.
I need a favor.
Yeah.
Can we talk somewhere in private?
I'd really rather not.
In your office would be good. It'll be really quick.
Yeah. So what happened with Joyce?
Oh, there was nothing there.
Huh? There's nothing there? He just wasn't there? Like, or what?
No, Hatch, he reassigned me. He wants me to secure the perimeter lab on the island. He thinks Joyce might go there. He sent me here to get access to it. Can you help me out?
Yeah, sure. Let me see what I can do.
Thank you.
You know, it's really funny that you say that that lead on Joyce was no good because I don't know. It sure looks like he was there, and that other guy kind of looks like you. But that's weird because you work for Monarch, and that guy clearly does not work for Monarch. Now I can zoom in. Hey, wait, stop killing me, because I just put a high security alert out on your ass. You got about 20 seconds.
You're bluffing.
Hey, you're welcome to stick around and try to find out.
You know what I'm gonna do to you.
I have a pretty good idea what Monarch's gonna do to you. In about 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Good luck, buddy. 9, 8. We need all points converged on Liam Burke. He's armed and dangerous.
And so I'm going to be pausing a lot during these whenever we do it, because it helps the episode buffer a little bit, so we don't have as many of those freezes. But what was I just reading? Oh, sorry, Hollow Man, what a shithead. So one thing that I don't know why with Charlie we're talking psychology so much when we're not really doing that with the other characters. But remember, his entire thing is he is craving validation in any sense, and being here with Monarch, it's like it's what gives him that craving. It gives him the validation he needs it, so he technically has to maintain a good relationship with Monarch, otherwise it's taken away from him. That sense of safety and security he gets from being in his position would be completely torn away if he's no longer with Monarch. So of course he's going to defend them, and he's going to, well, yeah, partially a people pleaser, but yeah, he can't leave them behind. Otherwise, everything, his entire validation control system is taken away.
Listen up, he's on level B, near the main overpass.
Just a reminder to Monarch employees, get your flu shots. They are free of charge. Get them in HR.
Fucking idiots!
Liam, stop!
He's not invincible. He's not a fucking superhero. Brenner, I'm dealing with it. Yeah, I know. He's in the building. Yeah. South parking structure. I repeat, south parking structure, 4th floor. second floor. You gotta cut him off. He's heading out the entrance.
Gotta have all that Nissan product placements.
No, come on! Okay, he's heading south on Eastman, south on Eastman. Phantom team, he's headed to you. He's flying, look out.
Copy.
Cut him off, cut, go.
Come on, you got this.
If I remember correctly, Microsoft told them don't damage any vehicles because we can't afford to replace them.
Get me alongside him.
That's why this is like the cleanest chase scene you've ever seen.
God, get him! 3rd Street, he's headed to the alley.
Copy that.
Corner him.
See, even though the vehicle got shot at multiple times and impacted, there's no bullet holes in that Nissan. And episode 1. So we're gonna hit continue, and then that'll be it for today, guys.
Let's talk about...
So I'm just going to pause right there. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for today. So these streams are probably going to go on pretty long. We're almost 4 hours in, and this is the shortest chapter. Now, granted, we did have a huge lore dump right at the very beginning of the game, so who knows? But, yeah, so these are going to be probably a little bit longer. So the next one I am planning on having tomorrow. So my goal, because there's 5 acts of the game, we can do one today, one tomorrow on a Saturday, and then we'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday of next week, and boom, by Friday of next week, we are done with Quantum Break, and I can move on to getting everything ready for Control. So, I promise to not finish the stream until we finish the act, just so we can maintain a timeline. Therefore, we'll be done in time for Control Resonant to come out, so we can just keep on going. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to get to Alan Wake 2, because I would need to do a complete replay of that one. But I can likely get Control done, but I'm not going to be able to also get Alan Wake 2 in time. Regardless, so by the end of next week, we're going to be done with this. You'll not hear from me for another week, and then we'll get going again. Anyways, take it easy, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope you learned a few new things. And the very beginning of next stream is going to have a huge, literally full-page lore dump that I wrote from the novel. Because Act 2 begins in a scene that is not anywhere in the game. It was cut completely from the game, but we get to see it in the book. Anyways, all you subscribed to, thank you so much, Paul. You're awesome. I appreciate it. What time tomorrow? Probably not 6:30, because that's a schedule I keep because I get off work at 5 and I want to, get back, make some dinner, and be ready in time for stream. But since it's a weekend, I might just start it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, and then we'll just get rolling from there. Anyways, take it easy. Enjoy your weekends. Have a good night. Have a good morning, depending on wherever you're at. And I will see you around later. Bye-byes.